All right, what is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? And welcome to another CAD vs. CAD speed modeling tournament. We are here on January 23rd, and we are in the semifinals. We're down to the final four runners in this tournament. We've got some awesome prizes put up here by our friends over at 3D Connection. So we'll be talking about those prizes as we get into the tournament as well. We'll be talking about what's going on in the world of 3D CAD. We're going to be talking about who is the fastest speed modeler in the world of SolidWorks. And of course, we're going to be hanging out with the best chat ever. But guys, these live streams are a lot of fun when it's just me and all of you, but we really take them up a level when we include a co-commentator, and we have got a very special co-commentator here with us today. So guys, put your hands together, put a 1 in the chat, and welcome our special co-commentator today, none other than Phil Brown. Phil, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing today? And thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome, man. I'm super pumped to be here. As you guys know, it's not my first rodeo. However, I am a little sour about the fact that it's all SolidWorks people here in chat. But as you guys know, we always show up. It's a good time. I cut my stream off early to get here and have the party happen.
Wow. Cut your stream off early. That could lead to some medical problems. So you got to be careful doing that too often.
Right?
So Phil, although you're right, it is all SolidWorks users in the competition today, but hopefully we'll have some non-SolidWorks users out there in the chat hanging out with us, because we got a lot of knowledge from all over the world of 3D CAD, not just from SolidWorks, and we're excited to share it with all of you. And speaking of that knowledge share, I know that one of the things that you're doing with your company, with JitCAD Cam, is you guys are hosting kind of like a tour, right? Or a live event down in Florida. Is that something that maybe you got a moment you could talk to our audience about?
Yeah, I do 100%. So you're not wrong by any means, as we actually do this quite often. We've found that we call it the old JitCAD Cam road trip in the we've upgraded. It's now called the Cam Ram. So we have a Dodge Ram with a truck topper, and we drive across country for these boot camps that we host at different factory dealers. Now, for a lot of you, I know you guys don't do cam, but the good news is we do a CAD class, and that would be hosted on Wednesday, February 18th. What we like to do is we like to take guys from a napkin sketch to a solid model. Now, I'm going to pause there at solid model because we're going to talk a little bit later, Toby, about some changes in Fusion that would help you guys out a ton if you're new to Fusion.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I know that I had noticed that Fusion just released a new release, and they kind of changed the way they set up the files, not the file structure, but like the document structure. What exactly has changed here? Because I know that for a long time with Fusion, you could start a new document. You could kind of like do multi-body or do a single part file in the same document in Fusion. What has changed now?
Yeah, so they've switched things up. They've called it now the intent-driven design. So just like SolidWorks and Inventor does when you open a brand new file, it actually prompts you to say, is it a part, is it an assembly, or are you doing my favorite, which is the hybrid design? Now, over the years, when it came to our CAD courses, whether you're building jigs and fixtures or design and assemblies, the biggest problem in Fusion is misorganization of sketches and bodies. They would reside in the wrong area. They would get tied into the wrong component, all because you didn't click a little dot to activate. And the idea is this goes back to that more traditional workflow that is more streamlined around, are you working on the body or are you working on the assembly? Again, I think from a data collaboration standpoint, larger companies, multiple hands in the cookie jar, it makes all the sense to do this. But Fusion Phil, me truly, I hate it, because I've used years of experience to always go hybrid versus the intent driven.
That's what I wanted to ask you was, with this being the case with you now, being a longtime Fusion user and now switching into this new environment, what is the biggest change for you? Like when you start a new document in Fusion, what do you do differently now?
Well, so as my wife would say, I'm either super lazy or proficient. So when you add mouse clicks to anything, it always seems painful at first. However, that's my only clip plate. When I do a new file, I now have to make a decision. Is it a part, assembly, or hybrid? Now, there's probably a default setting in there I haven't found yet just to say, use the traditional workflow. But overall, I think it reduces the amount of adoption problems around it because it is so familiar in two other softwares.
Okay. All right. That's good. So then, but then like as far as our users go, you know, the users that are out there that are maybe like just realizing that Fusion just came out with a new update, what would you have them do different, or is it pretty obvious? Like when you start a new session, you just have to choose the type of document you're trying to get into.
No, it's right out of the box. It immediately asks you the
Okay.
moment you open a new design.
All
So
right.
it's
Cool.
really nice that for somebody that if you went out and got a trial, currently there is some promos going on, guys. Don't forget to buy from yours truly, of course. But you would from day one today, you would have the latest and greatest, and it would put you in the new workflow, and it would work quite well.
Okay. That's great. All right, awesome, man. Well, listen, guys, if you want to learn more great Fusion tips and tricks like that, check out Phil's YouTube channel. Check out, he usually live streams on Friday right before we live stream here, so you could get your Fusion Friday Phil fixin all throughout Friday. And you guys can watch Phil's channel. He gives out a ton of tips and tricks on Fusion as well, and a great resource for anything Fusion. And, of course, if you're in the Florida area, you can attend these upcoming CAD Cam Road Show. I think that sounds like an awesome time. I might have to make my way down there for that one.
Well, when I wrap things up, I do have to come back north at some point, and I'm debating on hitting up North Carolina and coming up to PA. Maybe I'll swing by and we can do
Let's
one live.
go. We got room for you. We always got room for you here. We could live stream together. All right. Well, listen, guys, we are here on Friday, January 23rd. It's been an awesome run so far. It's been great watching these runners get through their challenges. It's great to have our friend Phil Brown with us here doing co-commentary. And guys, it's great to have everybody in the chat as well. It's so nice. It's always so nice to see everybody in the chat. I'm just going to take a second here and just give some quick shout outs to the chat, and then we're going to officially get started here. But I just want to say hi to Big V from AZ. Yo, made this one today. Hope you are doing well. Either way, great to see you again, regular in the chat. Great to see Guntus in here as well. Hello, my friend, Uncle Facepound. This is a user who's kind of newer to the world of 3D CAD, doing some stuff in Onshape, and now pumping out tutorials in Onshape on the Too Tall Toby YouTube channel and in the Discord. So really awesome to see his evolution going from kind of a novice to getting to be a bit of a YouTube pro. So check out Uncle Facepound's content as well. We got Tribsy here in the chat. Welcome. Scott Makes a Thing, Rhino user, was a competitor in the tournament before. Andrew Carlson was originally the competitor in this tournament. He's going to have to wait till the next tournament, though, to take his title down. MEHTAB, who's going to be competing today. Hello, my friend. Uncle Facepound. Jim Yu is here. Hello, my friend. Welcome. And, of course, CAD Cam is here doing co-commentary with me. And Teach A6 is here. Welcome. Mr. Miza is here. Welcome. MEHTAB is here. And Stub 8453 says hi from UK. Hello. 3D Brooklyn is here. Welcome. Happy Friday. And we got Rio Sophia is here, says yo. And Uncle Facepound coming in with some super chat to get this live stream started. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Always appreciate the super chat during these live streams. And Ate says, this is my first time battling MEHTAB. Guys, we're gonna have some awesome matches today. We got Ate versus MEHTAB. We got Dom versus Ricardo. These are gonna be some good matches here today. And guys, I want to say hello, of course, to our good friend Ricardo, who's going to be competing here today, and to Mundane Superpower, says howdy everyone. Hello, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Dom is going to be competing today. Welcome. And let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Berserk 001 says Fusion Crew here. Yo, what's up? Shout out to Berserk 001. And Hassan is here, says FreeCAD user here. Nice. Stubb says a Libre design. Yo, we love a Libre design. Shout out to the Libre design crew. And who else we got in here? Let's see. I think we got most of the people. We got a chance to say hello. The Vicky Chong is in the chat. She's holding things down here as in the role of mod. So thank you, The Vicky Chong. And Richard W is here, says hello. Hasn't opened Fusion for 2 months. Now he's going to check this out. He's excited about this new update. Very nice. And John G is here. Welcome, my friend, says good morning. And let's go, guys. I think we're ready to get into this. Let's jump into our official live stream. Today is Friday, January 23rd. Let's get into it here. Larry is here, says check Taki. Nice. All right. And guys, we got some more super chat here. Thank you so much to Guntus, 10 euros, says Ate, MEHTAB, Dom, Ricardo. Write this day down in history. Yeah, this is going to be a good one for sure. And Jim Yu comes in with knock 100, says best of luck to the runners. May the wheel of fate be with you. Yes, the wheel of fate is going to be good today. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's go. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. The easiest way to support the channel, hit the like button. Don't forget to share and reshare. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to sign up for a free account over at tootalltoby.com. Whether you guys enjoy doing these kinds of challenges here during the tournament, or if you want to compete against the chat, if you want to do a live speed modeling competition against the chat, you can join us. We live stream every week on Monday, and we do a live speed modeling competition, you versus the rest of the chat pros. So be sure to sign up, subscribe, and you'll get the notification on that. And Mundane Superhero in the chat, $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very much appreciated. It's always good to get some super chat going to help keep these tournaments rolling, and the super chat is very much appreciated. And guys, what do we got going on today? Man, it's been such a fun run so far. We started out with MEHTAB versus Jaden. MEHTAB knocked him out to make his way into this Final Four. Jaden was a student running Inventor. Really cool to see the young crew coming through. But MEHTAB, I think, is the youngest champion we've ever had. Also a youngster here, and already has won one tournament. This could be his second tournament. Then we've got Dom, who was able to knock out M. And of course, whenever Dom is here, Phil, you are here. It's like we know that you're going to be the co-commentator because Dom is on the live stream.
100%, man. Every time it seems that way.
It really does. So Dom, representing the United States in SolidWorks here, gonna be going up against somebody else in the Final Four. We got to see Atse go up against Gray. Atse, of course, coming off the bench and filling in because we lost a competitor. And we actually reached out to some of our alternates as well, but we couldn't get anybody to come back. And Dom was like, sorry, Atse was like, I'll get in there. Let's see how we do. So Atse coming off the bench here and maybe going for his first tournament win. And then, of course, we've got Ricardo. Ricardo went against Darren from the UK running Fusion, and Ricardo was able to lock up that win. Ricardo has won 2 tournaments and is currently the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. So really cool to see all these guys here in this tournament. It's all SolidWorks, but we got 4 different countries represented. 2 people from the Western Hemisphere, 2 people from the Eastern Hemisphere. Man, this is going to be good here. This is going to be some good matches. And of course, what they're competing for is some amazing epic prizes from our friends over at 3D Connection, but also a chance to get on the wall of champions over at tootalltoby.com/tournaments. So if you guys want to check out some of our previous tournament live streams, they're all posted over there, tootalltoby.com/tournaments. Jern is here in the chat, says, hello all. Just joining late. You're right on time, my friend. You're right on time. Big B from AZ says, a bunch of animals in here. What a competition. Yeah, beast. These guys are all going into beast mode. And this is going to be a good one today. And guys, we couldn't have these tournaments without our amazing sponsors. And I want to start out by just giving a quick shout out to our sponsor, Xometry. Xometry.com is the website. You can visit Xometry.com where your vision can be made real. You can bring your designs to life with Xometry. If you're not familiar with Xometry, they offer manufacturing on demand, which provides a very simple, fast way to create custom physical parts. And so what this means is that you can go to Xometry.com with your 3D CAD model from any 3D CAD system. You can upload it with their instant quoting system, and you can instantly see what it's going to cost to get that thing made from a wide variety of both manufacturing processes and the highest quality materials. And whether you're doing a single prototype or you're doing a multi-part run, Xometry.com has you covered. And what's really cool is that there's we've got this really fun video that I like to show with the team from BattleBots, the team from Hypershock, and how they were able to use several of the Xometry services to create parts for their robots. So let's take a look here. If you guys like BattleBots, put a 1 in the chat, and here we go. Let's take a look at this video.
Hi, I'm Will Bales.
And I'm Alex Bales. Together, we engineer crazy fighting robots. Getting custom parts is key to everything we do.
That's why we choose Xometry to get on-demand custom manufacturing for prototyping and production.
They offer dozens of processes like 3D printing, CNC machining, and sheet cutting.
Plus, Xometry's huge network creates massive capacity for production and reliable supply chains.
Get started with Xometry today.
Xometry, where big ideas are built.
So very cool to see how you could take an idea, whether it's a single part or a multi-part assembly, whether it's using one material or multiple materials, and work with the team at Xometry to get that idea turned into a real-world device. And what's really cool is that right now, if you guys are watching this video, thanks to our friends over at Xometry, you can actually save some money. There's a Too Tall Toby deal. You can get 20% off your first order with the coupon code Toby20CAD, and that's up to a $200 maximum discount, valid through the end of February. We've got all the information about that down below in the description of this live stream, so check it out, and you can save some money there on your first order. I see in the chat, Aaron C. is here in the chat, says, I got some Xometry parts sitting on my desk right now. Great company. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So shout out to our friends over at Xometry, and thank you for the continued sponsorship. They sponsored some of our tournaments last year, and they have come back for more. They really enjoy all the interaction they're getting with the Too Tall Toby community. And of course, our friends over at Solidbox. Guys, last week we had Chris Castle, the owner of Solidbox, on the live stream doing co-commentary. Solidbox provides professional CAD workstations for professional CAD users. And what this means is that Solidbox can help users get up and running fast by providing custom builds of servers, desktops, and laptops for SolidWorks users. And the way they do this is they provide you with an optimized build of Windows with all the bloatware stripped out. They go through and they make tweaks to the BIOS. They make sure you've got the right RAM in your system. They make sure that your video card settings in the BIOS are set to be optimized, whether you're working off battery or not. And they really just make sure that you've got everything that you need so that as soon as you get the computer out of the box, put it on your desk, you're able to get up and running in SolidWorks. And the way they're able to do this is because they've got a skilled and experienced support team of hardware experts. Now, beyond providing amazing hardware that's going to get you up and running and just working right away, the team at Solidbox also provides services, whether it's training services or consulting services. You know, several of the members of that team are professional engineers. They can help you with design. They can help you with finite element analysis, computational fluid dynamics. So if you ever have a need for any kind of like external experts in the world of CAD or in the world of engineering or in the world of simulation, you can also reach out to the team at mysolidbox.com for their services. And really enjoyed working with MySolidbox. They've been a sponsor of the channel for a long time. All right, guys, let's move on now and talk about the prizes. What are these guys competing for? Because we're now in the Final Four, and that means 3 of these runners are going to earn a prize. Not all 4, but just 3. And the prizes are put up by our friends over at 3D Connection. You can see I've got some of these amazing 3D Connection products here, including what our 3rd place winner is going to win, which is the 3D Connection Keyboard Pro, the Keyboard Pro here with the number pad, and also a CAD Mouse Pro wireless. So this is a really nice package here, a really nice setup. You get the CAD Mouse Pro wireless and you get the Keyboard Pro. If you are able to, if you're able to move on and get past 3rd place and get to 2nd place, you're going to win a Space Mouse wireless. And if you get into 1st place, you're going to win our Space Mouse wireless kit 2. Congratulations to everybody who's made it this far, but nobody is guaranteed a prize yet. You got to win your match today to be guaranteed a prize. Otherwise, 3rd and 4th are going to come back next week and compete for 3rd place. If you guys haven't visited 3dconnection.com, they make the best 3D CAD hardware peripherals out there. And they are an amazing company. Everyone who ever uses a Space Mouse, a 3D Connection Space Mouse, they always say the same thing, that they cannot work without it anymore. And that's really the ultimate testimonial. So check them out, 3dconnection.com. They make some amazing hardware peripherals for CAD users. And what's cool is that these peripherals also work on non-CAD products. So you can use it for like video editing or Word, Microsoft Word, Excel. You can use it for anything. All right, shout out to the team over at 3D Connection, awesome sponsor of the channel for a long time. Guys, if that all sounds good to you and you're ready to get into it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share and reshare, and let's get into our first match. So the way these matches work is that our runners are collected from around the world. Let's say we had Ivan the Reasonable versus Aaron C, SolidWorks versus SolidWorks. What we're going to do is we're going to show them and all of you a 2D drawing, and then our runners are going to share their screen and they are going to attempt to turn that 2D drawing into a 3D model. What's really cool is that we get to watch these 2 experts kind of think through a challenge, and we get to see kind of how their brain works and how they construct their feature tree. Now, what these runners are going to try to do is assign the correct material density and calculate the mass of the model, and then they're going to enter that mass directly into the YouTube chat. Now, the rules for this tournament are, for the runners, it's a best of 3 battles, or really a race to 2 points. So after they win their first match, they're going to get a point, but it's not over yet. You're not in the finals yet. You got to win 2 points in order to advance into our finals. If you get the answer wrong, if the runners get the answer wrong, we're going to tell them, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. I'm sorry, Aaron C., that's not the correct answer. And then what Aaron C. would have to do is he would have the opportunity to go through and examine his model and answer again. If you answer incorrect twicely, then you're out. You cannot earn the point. However, your opponent still has to earn the point, and at that point, we'll give them a 5-minute countdown to finish out the match. Guys, if you're out there in the chat, we encourage you to take a screen capture of the drawing and to try to model it up yourself. However, what we ask is that you please do not help these runners. And what that means is don't post the answer in the chat and don't help them. Don't say like, hey, you're missing a fillet. Don't say, you know, you forgot to, you should have done a shell there or should have done a sweep there or something like that. Okay, these guys are the stars today. They've worked really hard to get to this point, so let's let them shine. And so what you can do instead is you can flex a little bit. If you're super fast and you want to let the chat know that you finished it before these experts, there's something you can do. There's something you can type in the chat, and I'm going to let our chat regulars type it in because they know what to do. They know what to do. If you figure it out before our runners figure it out, what you can do is you can type in the chat, I got it. And if you're a member of the show, you might even have a special icon. A member of the YouTube channel, you might have a special icon. You can flex a little bit and you can say, I got it. And this is a great way to kind of let people know that you're in here and you're working and you're even faster than these speed modelers. All right, guys, that's it for the warm-up. That's it for the intro. And Phil, any final thoughts before we get into this first match?
Yeah, I mean, my only final thought is there's tons of final thoughts always, but I think I need my own icon. I've been here so much. Oh. Can we get a JIT CAD cam icon?
Yo,
what do I got to do around here?
We're gonna make a note.
How many gifted subs do I got to get?
Exactly. We got to make that happen for sure. All right, let's make it happen. Maybe you and I can work together too and figure out maybe a couple icons, maybe some stuff that'll be a little more personalized to Phil, and then we'll have that. And we also see Uncle Facepound saying, Phil, digging your background. Yeah, nice.
I always forget when I come over here, I got to switch my backgrounds out because, again, just like you, we have our own live streams we do, and it is held together with Band-Aids and bubblegum.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Dom says maybe your icon should be the SolidWorks Crash icon.
I like that.
I like that a lot. All right, guys. Well, listen, we're going to get into it here. Our first match is going to be between MEHTAB and Otse. So MEHTAB from Bangladesh running SolidWorks, Otse from North Macedonia running SolidWorks. This is going to be a good match. Now, what we always do is before we get started with the official match, we do a practice round. And this way, Phil and I can make sure that all the technicalities of this live stream are up and running properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this over to the practice round. And here we go, guys. Both of our runners, we're going to have MEHTAB on the left. We're going to have Otse on the right. Both of our runners are going to try to build this practice model, and we're going to see how quickly they can do it. Here we go. This practice battle begins in 3, 2, 1. Go! What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? And so we see both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture of this model, and both of our runners are going to try to turn this screen capture, this 2D drawing, into a 3D model, and we're going to watch them here now live. And so as we are getting this thing ready, we're just going to make sure that we've got all of our stuff set up and working correctly, and let's see how these guys approach this thing. Obviously, this is an easy model, much easier than what we expect to see here in the tournament. This is our tech check, if you will, just making sure that we've got everything in line for this broadcast. So we see, if you look down on the left in the live chat, you can see that MEHTAB came in with the answer there, 627.05. We see Otse has not yet answered, so we're going to see here if Otse is going to be able to come up with an answer. We're watching him. Okay, and still don't see an answer from Otse. Gold Darren says got it. He's already solved this one.
He's probably yelling in his microphone right now, not realizing he's got to put it in chat. That would be me.
Yep. And you see Vicky in the chat is saying need to clear Otse's purple win icons. Yep, good. There we go. I don't know why I am this lucky. Mass 627. Good. All right. So in this case, what we would do is we would say congratulations to, turn this down a little bit. In this case, we would say congratulations to Ate. He did it right. And we see Tribsby coming in with an answer as well. Thank you, my friend. Tribsy. I was going to say Tribsy. Tribsy coming in with an answer as well. Just remember, you don't want to answer during the actual matches. This is just a test, and that's fine. But during the actual matches, we're not going to answer. We're going to let these guys answer. Look at that icon. That's a good icon, Phil.
Right? I think that might be the one. That's the Fusion Fill one.
That's a good one. I like that one. All right, guys. Well, here we go. We are going to head on back here to the main presentation, and now we are ready to actually kick off this first match. And the only way that we can kick off this first match is by turning to our friend, the Wheel of Fate. You may have noticed that some of the people in the chat were saying, you know, I hope the Wheel of Fate is nice to us today. I hope the Wheel of Fate is nice to the runners today. Well, what the Wheel of Fate is it's our way of randomizing which drawings we actually end up using in today's challenges. And so the Wheel of Fate is a good friend of the show, been on the show for a long time. And for this tournament, it's actually sponsored by our friends over at Plasticity. So shout out to Plasticity. They sponsored the Wheel of Fate during the last tournament. They sponsored the Wheel of Fate during this tournament. If you're not familiar with Plasticity, they offer advanced and Class A surfacing so that you can sculpt beautiful production-ready geometry. It's also got great interoperability. You can easily export directly into your CAD workflow. And there's no subscriptions. Own your own tools, no strings attached. Plasticity.xyz is the website. And Plasticity is a sponsor of our Wheel of Fate. And what the Wheel of Fate is it's our way of randomizing the drawing. Because, you know, if I happen to know that Ate is really good at sheet metal and that's a weak spot for MEHTAB, then I could maybe like, you know, stack the deck a little bit. We don't want that. So instead, we just let the Wheel of Fate stack the deck. And it was kind of interesting last week, Phil. We actually had a little bit of drama surrounding the Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate queued up, I think it was drawing number 11, and I accidentally showed drawing number 10. And the runners went through and did the competition, and it was Ricardo who finished first and should have gotten the point. And then afterwards, I realized my mistake, and I said, guys, I do not want to mess with the Wheel of Fate, so I'm going to revoke that point from Ricardo. And I sent him back to 0 and then made them battle again and shifted that missing drawing back into the wheel. And of course, because the Wheel of Fate is so etherical or magical, the Wheel of Fate then picked the same drawing again. It picked drawing number, you know, the correct drawing. And then we were able to show them. They didn't repeat the same challenge. It was, you know, it was fresh, but I cycled it back in and the Wheel of Fate picked it again. And so Ricardo did end up winning that match and moving on, as you know, but it was very dramatic. The chat was very mad at me.
That's great, man. That is a riot, and that just lets you know, I don't think it was a mistake. It was a security check, right? You called the wrong number, pulled up the wrong drawing, and that guarantees people out here can't be cheating with getting copies early.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we definitely, we don't want to mess with the Wheel of Fate. We never mess with the Wheel of Fate. It is a magical thing. And so what you can see is in the chat, we've got some people in the chat who are trying to prove that they have got the ability to predict what the Wheel of Fate is going to reveal. So Big B from AZ, you can see here, is saying 13. We've got 8 here from Jim U. We got Gold Darren thinks it's going to be 17. Nearly No Enough thinks it's going to be 8. John G thinks it's going to be 13. D Vicky Chon thinks it's going to be 17. Guntis 16. Serial Sal 13. Uncle Facepound 14. Mr. Miza 8. I love seeing all these guys in here coming and trying to predict this thing. Trisby thinks it's going to be 14. And Bruno thinks it's going to be 15. This is what we like to see. Lucky 13 from Jern. Uncle Facepound 14. Let's go. Let's see what it is, Phil. What do you think it's going to be for this first CAD vs. CAD challenge?
I'm going to go 16. Sweet 16.
Let's go. Here we go. I'm not going to shuffle it. I'm just going to spin it. And it's on 16 right now. Let's see if it sticks with that. Here we go. The Wheel of Fate is spinning. The Wheel of Fate is speaking. And the Wheel of Fate has come up with... Woo! A good one to get us started here. Wow. All right, guys. Well, listen, drawing number 15 is a very good one to get us started. And congratulations to anyone who got that correct, who correctly predicted it. I saw Bruno was one that came in with 15. I think we saw a couple other people, but Bruno might have been the first one who came in with 15. Go, Bruno, go. Let's see if you can keep that streak going. So let's see here. And Tamal also came in with 15. Congratulations. And Amana's in the chat. Blue Byte Systems Inc. says, Toby is a legend. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Blue Byte Systems, of course, sponsored us in a previous tournament as well. Great to see you in here, my friend. And I'm Blue Byte Systems sending out some gift memberships. Let's go. And Big Keith right away got in there. He speed ran that gift membership. Congratulations to Big Keith. And thank you so much to Blue Byte. And Phil, I'm going to talk to the production team and get this next drawing ready. This is drawing number 15. Maybe while I'm doing that, you can tell us a little bit about these runners.
Yeah, no problem. So, I mean, obviously, they're both wrong off the gate for using SolidWorks. But that being said, we do have MEHTAB over here using SolidWorks in 2024, yet he is out here competing for a championship. That's crazy that this is twice now. You guys let this guy start in 2024 and climb the ladder. But outside of that, calls him solid worker. Some say he eats it. Some say he breathes it.
Wow.
But day in and day out, he has won 6 national CAD champions. I don't want to say somebody might be born for this, but, you know, maybe this guy was.
Wow.
Outside of that, we got Ace. Ace is a great guy. We were chatting it up before this. But that said, 16 years of experience in 3D printer, and he's finally got one at his house. I'd be curious, Ace, what 3D printer you might have. Now, it is nonstop printing ninjas, which is great. So that is always fun. We have a 3D printer. It is a great investment. The amount of stuff you can waste, too many hours to count printing versus just buying it off Amazon is worth every memory.
Yeah, it's awesome. And actually, our last tournament, we had Prusa sponsor the World Championship in 2025. So it was Atse who, as runner-up, won a 3D printer from Prusa, won the MK4S. So, yeah, awesome printer, and huge congratulations to Atse, and so cool the stuff that he's been printing. He shares it a lot of times on the Too Tall Toby Discord. So, guys, good luck to both of our runners. I got a feeling this is going to be a really good match. I think we've got a really fun part to get things started. Are you ready for this, Phil?
I am, but I got to pause you real quick before we kick this off.
Okay.
It looks like we have, what, 100+ people in here and 13 likes.
Oh, we might need to refresh
Wait,
that.
that doesn't make any
That
sense
can't
to
be
me
right.
at the end of the
Let's
day.
see. Sometimes you have to refresh it to get it to show the updated likes. I know that I've had
Yeah,
that
I
happen.
made that mistake,
see.
and now I'm waiting on good old-fashioned YouTube ads to go
Yeah,
away.
same. So
Man, you would think. You would think.
I see 103 watching, and I see 31 likes after the refresh. So hopefully we can get that up. That needs to be at least at 50. Really, we should get that up to 100. Let's just get up to 100, guys. Why even bother? Let's just get it up to 100. Guys, welcome to the first battle here in our semifinals, and it is going to be a good one. We've got 2 amazing competitors. We've got an awesome model. Let's go. On the left, we're going to have MEHTAB from Bangladesh. He's using SolidWorks. He's a one-time tournament winner. He won the Summer Open last year. And on the right, we're going to have Atse from North Macedonia running SolidWorks. He was a runner-up in the World Championship of 3D CAD speed modeling last year. These guys are both epic warriors in the world of 3D CAD speed modeling. But at the end of the day, it's really going to be up to the Wheel of Fate to see what kind of challenge they get. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? And this part has a tolerance of plus or minus 1 gram. And you can see here that this part is called Ice Cube Tray. And although this part may look simple, there's definitely a couple of gotchas in this part. Guys, good luck. Good luck to our runners. This is definitely a tricky model here. You can see that the base has a wall thickness of 8 millimeters. Everything else is a wall thickness of 4 millimeters. There's some draft. There's some faces that need to match up with that draft. Let's flip over and see how these guys are starting this thing. They both grabbed a screen capture of the 2D print. They both moved that over to their second screen. Now they're working from that screen capture, and they're trying to come up with the mass of this model. What is the mass of this model in XXX grams? This thing is made out of ABS, and it is an ice cube tray. And both of them starting kind of with an interesting approach here. They're both starting looking in on the end of the part, kind of creating this rounded shape off of the end of the part. Okay, I like it. Looks like Atse is adding in some fillets where MEHTAB has drawn first blood, meaning he's the first one who came up with a solid model. So always interesting to see 2 different runners from 2 different backgrounds modeling up the same part. We got MEHTAB on the left running SolidWorks. We got Atse on the right running SolidWorks.
This is quite an interesting kickoff because it's one of those things that I always love seeing is the different design approaches between 2 individuals. But this time around, we have kind of the same approach from both, which is quite wild at the end of the day. And I finally figured out the secret to this channel, right? So I guys, the winning formula here is you don't have to be the best modeler, period. Not that these guys aren't champions. You got to know every tool in the software, it seems, and how it works.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at this right now. I don't want to say anything quite yet, because in Fusion's world, it would be a little different design approach, but that's because there's tools some people just don't realize exist.
Well, maybe this would be a good one for you and I to do a dual live stream on, and we could model it up together. I could model it in SolidWorks or Onshape, and you could model it up in Fusion.
We might have to. I mean, I got to figure out what time is it that you guys do. Is it Modeling Mondays when you do that type of stuff?
Yeah, Model Monday Live we do at 1 p.m. on Mondays, and that's where we challenge the chat to try to model up a part like this.
You know what? I'll do it. You know what? I'll call you out, Toby. Me and you, we can go head to head and model this out in our different techniques.
Oh, I would like that. Well,
I think that's a good one. We'll do it this Monday for sure.
I would love that. I think what will probably make this part interesting here for us to model, and I think it's probably what's making it interesting for these guys to model, is that the way that the geometry in this part is defined is such that you kind of have to draw the lower shape, the solid drafted shape on the bottom. You know, that's where we've got our driving dimensions. And I apologize, I know I'm kind of covering up Ate here just for a second, but just want to bring this section view over, or this detail view over. You can see here that from this detail view that the geometry is really defined at the bottom of that 8mm wall thickness. And so you see that both of our runners have taken that approach. They've kind of drawn in that shape on the bottom of that 8mm wall thickness. And then they're going to try to use that shape to then define their 4mm wall thickness for the rest of the ice cube trays. And I think that's kind of what makes this challenge interesting, is that, you know, you don't really know where to start. You don't know if you should start with those cuts going down with the draft, if you should start with the cube, you know, as solid going down, kind of like what we're seeing both of our runners doing. I mean, these guys are some of the best in the world, and they both look like they're deciding to do this by creating those cubes going down with a 10mm draft. So there's probably something to that workflow, but definitely not easy. And certainly if you don't have much experience working with thin parts or working with drafted parts, this might really throw you for a loop the way this thing is defined. The thing that's cool about these challenges is that a lot of times, you know, I'm drawing from my own experience, and these are the kinds of brain twisters that our customers sometimes give us, where they say, you know, most of the wall thickness is 4mm, but the top is 8mm in wall thickness. So, you know, when I go to shell, we'll see what happens when Ate goes to shell it here on the right. You know, is the shell going to look correct, or is he going to have to do some additional repair? Or there's another note on this drawing that indicates that the walls need to kind of be matching, that it's just one continuous wall. It's got the same draft angle all throughout the wall. There's a note here. You can kind of see it in this view. I'll see if I can drag this over without covering up too much of the action here. But there's some notes here in magenta that indicate that those drafted walls need to match all the way up to the top of that 8mm wall thickness. And that could also create a little bit of a headache for you as a user. But these are the kinds of things that a lot of times the customers will ask for. You know, you'll give a model to the customer that has like a stepped or a broken wall, and it will end up, oh, we might have had a crash here. I'm gonna just double.
Oh,
up.
He's back. He's back live. He's cooking there.
I think that was, yeah, I think that actually flipped over to another competitor's screen for a second there who was working on it. So we got double MEHTAB right now. We're having technical difficulties. It's possible that Ate crashed. We're going to keep an eye on the meeting, and we'll maybe keep an eye on the YouTube chat. But it's possible that Ate crashed. Very interesting.
Yeah, I get you 100%. It's definitely one of those things that, do you break it down into individual pieces? Do you try to do it all in one shot? Are you using the shell command? There's so many things. Again, you just got to know what your software is capable of. Is it going to work? Is it not?
Yeah, knowing every little feature, like you said, is really, really going to be key here. And interesting, we see Ate now is back. That is now properly Ate's screen on the right. It looked like maybe we lost connection with him just for a few moments, but he is back now. And it looks like he's actually going through and editing his original sketch. He maybe saw something in the original sketch that he didn't like. So that's kind of interesting too. And we'll see if that pays off for him.
You know, it is definitely one of those things that, I'm not going to say it in a bad way, but when we host our CAD for CAM classes, as we call it, is the design difference between engineer type mindsets and machinist mindsets is pretty shocking. Because, and I think 3D printing has added in a third variable. And the reason is because when I tend to model stuff, I think in the world of subtraction.
Right.
Where 3D printing is adding manufacturing. And then lastly, as I like to say, engineering is the art form of square corners. And we all know how square internal corners are going to work out for anybody in the machining world.
They are not going to be happy if you send them those.
But you're right. Something about customer specs is you could come out and say, hey, this part's got to have 2 degrees of draft because it's plastic injection molding and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then they're going to come back and say, oh, no, that has to be straight walls. And it's not manufacturable. Oh, I got to change my design.
Well, it's really interesting to see these guys, and I saw Ate there just brought up his mass property, so we may end up seeing an answer here coming in. We're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to see what he comes up with, but he's it looks like maybe he's now looking back at the print and maybe looking for anything else that he's missed. That's always what's kind of nerve-wracking is when you create a model like this, if you're worried that maybe you missed something or forgot about something, it's definitely something that makes you want to kind of go back and look again.
I got Warrior in chat calling me out talking about his square corners, but last time I checked, the wire's round, buddy.
Wow.
There's always a corner.
Yeah.
There's always.
He's doing it.
It's also fun to teach people that their entire life is made of rectangles.
Yeah, he's busting out EDM here as a workaround. Yo, let's go.
There he is. Now he's gonna get me in chat again with the sinker. I was waiting for it.
Oh man.
So you got triple tree out there? Triple tree. So you can use any software you want for this competition, man. It doesn't have to be SolidWorks. It just so happens that it's 2 competitors SolidWorks only right now.
And we see here Ate on the right running into an issue here with this face. And oh, interesting. He decided to use a direct editing tool there and move face. See, this is one of the gotchas with this model is that upper region is 8 millimeters, but the pockets are meant to be drafted and need to match that face. So look at what Atse's doing here on the right. This is really interesting. Using direct editing and then using up to a surface with the direct editing condition there to get those 4 walls to match up because they're supposed to match up with the draft of the pockets. And that's very much the type of thing you'll run into with customers. Well, you'll give them the final result and those faces will be broken. And the customer will say, well, this needs to all be the same. It needs to be smooth. We're trying to get the ice cubes out of the tray. It needs to be smooth here. And so really interesting to see. And now we see Ate using some measuring tools to see if maybe he's coming up with the correct information, if he missed anything else. It's kind of like an old pro move from being in the tournament so many times, but you got to be careful. And Ate coming in with an answer in the chat, and his answer is 420 grams. And guys, the correct answer is 420 grams. So congratulations to Ate, taking it down. He says, my first answer is 420 grams, and that is correct. And congratulations to Ate. Guys, put a GG in the chat. Well done, well done. Not an easy model at all, and very nice modeling there, and definitely cool to see some of those gotcha areas of that model. I especially liked seeing those areas where the model was intended to, you can see the magenta notes in kind of the upper right area of the drawing. The face needs to match the deeper pockets. You've got that 8 millimeter thick section on each end of the tray, but then the draft from those faces needs to exactly match the draft from those pockets. Well, how do you do that? That is not easy to do. And that's something that, you really need a lot of experience. These guys both knew that they needed to start out by extruding those solid cubes down in the bottom of the model. But man, getting that draft to match up is not easy. It was really exciting to see Ate do it with a face match tool, a direct editing face match tool, insert face move and up to surface. Very nice, and well done to Ate. Not an easy win. What'd you think of that one, Phil?
I mean, it's always different because I'm not under the gun to do it fast. But when it's funny because I think if you brought this back up here in a week and let these guys go at it again, it'd be a whole nother outcome. But I also, like I said, I think like a machinist. I think lazy, man, or proficient. Might be proficient.
I mean, the thing is, if you've got a gym, essentially, if you've got a CAD gym you can go to and you can practice modeling these parts over and over again, then when the customer comes to you with something similar, you're going to be ready to go. And that's what we've built over at tootalltoby.com. And we're going to talk more about that CAD gym in just a couple of minutes. But for now, I want to say GG to the winner. And thanks again to 3D Connection for putting up some awesome prizes. You can see this one of the prizes here on screen. And guys, we're going to move on to our next challenge. And once again, these challenges are sponsored, or the Wheel of Fate is sponsored here by our friends over at plasticity.com. So if you're out there and you want to prove whether or not you've got clairvoyance, this is your opportunity. I know there were some people in the chat talking about how fast they are and how these guys were going too slow. Well, listen, don't forget, you don't need math if you're an empath. What number do you think it's going to be out there, guys? What number do you think it's going to be? Dang, work. Missed the stream. Rockcrawler, you're here, my man. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So we see in the chat that Nearly Know Enough thinks it's going to be 8. D. Vicky Chong, 17. Serial Sal, 8. John G thinks it's going to be 13. Jim Yu thinks it's going to be 8. Timonglas S thinks it's going to be 17. Guntus, 16. Tribsy, 8. Jern, 13. Mr. Misa thinks it's going to be 8. Guys, what is this first one going to be? Shout out to Atse for winning that first battle. Definitely not easy geometry. And let's give the Wheel of Fate a spin and see what it's going to be. Phil, what do you think it's going to be this time?
I'm going to double down. Sweet 16 again.
Here we go.
Man.
Sweet 16.
Double down.
3, 2, 1, spin. Let's see what it is. Shout out to Plasticity, plasticity.xyz. And guys, looks like we're going to be jumping. We're going to be going to a blast from the past here. And we're going to be going back to drawing number 8. Now, this is one that we had prepared for last week, but it never got picked. The Wheel of Fate never picked it, so it rolled right over into this week. And I got to say, this is one of my favorite challenges in the whole thing. So good luck, guys. Good luck. I'd say giving a pro tip there to anybody who competes in the tournament. You might have to put some random text before your answer. And the Triple Tree says, what is the W? It's the oh, that should be 26. Wait, does that say 25? That should say 26.
It did say 25, but it should have been 26.
Guys, we got to fix this.
But it's still you have the correct end numbers.
Fixed. Guys, that's the Winter Freeze. We are in the Winter Freeze tournament. You may notice a theme with some of these models, and we are in the Winter Freeze. And it seems fitting as we're going into a true Winter Freeze. It's almost like the Wheel of Fate caused this to happen. So we are going into a true Winter Freeze here in the United States next week. And maybe you'll end up using some of these products during this Winter Freeze. Phil, while the production team is getting the next challenge ready, could you maybe tell the audience a little bit more about our runners?
Sure thing. We're back with it. 2 SolidWorks competitors once again, of course. Breaking my heart over here. But we got MEHTAB out there utilizing his macro pad, which you guys informed me last time I was here. I believe he won quite a while ago.
Yep.
Now, avoid sketching patterns whenever you can. I'm a firm believer, 100%. Using shell as his first feature. So that's
a firm believer in avoiding
patterning sketches. Yes, because in the world of Fusion, when you actually start patterning sketches, it tends to bog you down versus patterning features.
Approved.
But outside of that, Too Tall Toby power moves inspired him to start speed modeling. So that's great to see. I love to see that when you guys come out, you see content like this, it inspires you to go off, be better at what you do, and sharpen the trade, right? So over to Ace, we have Ace, or Atse, I should say. I always call him Ace, man. He's going to grief me later on this, but went to the Too Tall Toby CSWP prep course and passed it on the first try. So again, I don't know what CSWP is necessarily.
That's certified professional.
That's what I figured. But outside of that, designing bike frames is his new passion. So that's always fun to see, and I would love to see some of those frame designs one of these days.
That's awesome. And guys, I like how MEHTAB said that he doesn't like sketch patterns, but Aaron C in the chat, always trying to keep things positive, says my favorite feature is Boss Extrude. So guys, if you want to, type in the chat, what is your favorite feature in any CAD system, whatever CAD system you want, what is your favorite feature in your CAD system or in any CAD system? Let us know in the chat, your favorite tool, your favorite feature. Mine is Modify Sketch, of course. Modify Sketch is an epic old school tool in SolidWorks. It lets you actually scale sketches and their driving dimensions. So if you happen to draw something in millimeters by accident, you need to change it to inches. You can scale the sketch with the dimensions and have it upscale everything. Shout out to Modify Sketch. Definitely a good feature. Move face, Atse says. Yeah, that just won him that last point. MEHTAB says circular sketch pattern. There you go. That's his favorite feature. Twist. Richard likes the twist and the deform commands. Also likes the dome command. Nice. The triple tree likes functions. Yo, nice. Variables and functions. We like that. Very nice. Aaron C says I might have to switch to Fusion. I heard they have boss revolve. Is that true? Fusion has boss revolve?
I need a little more information on that. There's always been revolve, and there's always been what would be a boss tool. But
okay, we just got to see if they combine them.
You might be thinking of in-boss, but yeah, 100%.
Nice, nice. Well, if they ever combine those two, then you'll have a new customer from Aaron C. And let's see here. Multi-pattern, nice. Draw line, that's the best I can do, says James. Yep, that's good. Base flange tab, yo, let's go sheet metal. We like that. Scale on first dimension, yep, we like that one too. Split, good. Big B from AZ says, learn something new today, yo. We'll do some. We got a new Power Moves series on the Toby YouTube channel, Power Moves 2026. Modify sketch is coming to that one, so don't worry, we'll show you all about that. All right, mirror, nice. Curve Boolean in Rhino. Scott makes a thing, of course, coming in with the Curve Boolean in Rhino. Let's go. All right, guys. Listen, I love reading this. We'll come back and we'll try and read some more of these in a little bit. But for now, I think we're ready. I think these guys are warmed up. I hope you guys are warmed up. I hope you're able to use all these features that are coming in here. And I hope that you get a chance to use these in this next CAD versus CAD battle. Guys, this is one of my favorite models from the whole tournament. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. I can't wait. I think we got ourselves a really good model. We got a couple of great competitors. And here we go, guys. This next CAD vs. CAD battle featuring MEHTAB from Bangladesh. He's a one-time tournament winner, and he's running SolidWorks. Going up against Atse from North Macedonia. He was our runner-up in the World Championship at 3D CAD Speed Modeling last year, and he is running SolidWorks. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XX.XX pounds? And wow, guys, this one is called Lantern 1, and it's a Tier 6 model. Tier 6 complexity. You can see here that this thing is made from plain carbon steel, 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. Both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture, and both of our runners are jumping into their CAD system. And so here we go. We're going to flip over to this CAD versus CAD battle, see what these guys come up with. MEHTAB drawing first blood already, getting in there, sketching that hexagon for the base of this thing and extruding it up and jumping into his second feature already. Looks like MEHTAB on the left is winning, already drawing first blood. Atse on the right maybe needing to play catch up, but I got a feeling Atse on the right maybe was taking his time looking at the print. And so we'll see what happens here. MEHTAB now has 2 features on screen, extruded and fully defined. Moving on to his third feature. Looks like this is going to be the hexagon at the bottom of that kind of area where you might have the panes of glass in this lantern. I'm hoping that we can make a version of this for the Too Tall Toby library and include the panes of glass. I think this would make for a really fun multi-body. But for this tournament, we decided just to do it all as one single material, one single body. And MEHTAB, look at how quickly he was able to create that offset plane. And wow, looks like he's going with a solid loft there, lofting those two together. And what did he do at the end there? It looks like he went down and maybe unchecked merge results. Wow, interesting approach here. Holy smokes, guys. MEHTAB on the left, Atse on the right. Atse, you can see, started from a totally different area, which is always so interesting in these challenges when you've got 2 different experts and they decide to start with the origin in a different location or start with a different feature. Atse wanted to get that upper area done and out of the way, and now he's moving on to that lower area where MEHTAB started.
It's quite wild to sit here and watch this, as always. I always get a huge kick out of it. Again, we're seeing some shell commands happening, different things along the way, which might explain why he didn't merge those two together. He's thinking ahead of himself.
Yes, interesting. Wow, and ripped that offset there pretty quickly. Wow, MEHTAB is just cruising through this model. Keep in mind, guys, these guys have never seen this drawing before. This isn't, occasionally we'll see models that maybe we've seen a similar version in the library before. This is not one of them. This is a brand new experience for these guys, and they are both trying to figure out what's the best way to turn this thing into a solid and to come up with the correct mass for this model. And wow. Yeah, in the chat, Jern says, whoa, MEHTAB. Meanwhile, we got Atse on the right. Also looking like he's using some multi-body to get this thing done, and now getting in here and looking like he's getting ready to sketch some geometry. Let's see, he started a sketch on this plane. Very interesting to see. They both are kind of, even though they started in different spots, the paths are converging, and they're kind of ending up in a similar spot. You know, we saw a moment ago that Atse created that first cut for that window and then did a circular pattern, and MEHTAB, and now Atse is doing the same thing. So really interesting.
You'd have to answer me on this. I'd be curious to know, could you not have shelled the windows?
Well, they definitely could have tried. I mean, there's probably a way to do it. It probably would be Solidworks gets a little bit tricky about stuff like that, because when you're shelling, you know, you're trying to hollow out the entire solid body, where this is more of a like punching through. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, I mean,
a shell off of a shell.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cool thing about the practice models library is you can try it using several different approaches, and that way you'll know for next time. But wow.
100%. One thing that I like to point out too is, you know, it's, if you guys have ever heard the joke about the $2 hammer, and this is the exact reason why you need to go out and practice these models, is, you know, one day somebody's going to come to you and they're going to need something super fancy and complex, and you're going to charge them $20,000 for a $2 hammer swing. And it's all because you spent your life to know where that $2 hammer needs to hit.
Very cool. And wow, guys, I thought Atse was so far behind. It looks like he may have actually eclipsed MEHTAB here in this run. Uncle Facepound says, spot on, Phil. Yes, yeah, it's all about getting that experience so you know exactly what to do with those tools.
I would like to point out here real quick too, is for a lot of you guys out there, especially with the new intent-driven design, there is nothing wrong with multiple bodies at an individual part level, as long as your goal is to merge them all into one body. It definitely fixes a lot of things on the fusion end.
That's cool. But then the expectation is they all get merged together at the end.
Yeah, you merge it down to one solid body versus individual parts.
Wow, what a run from both of our competitors. This is so interesting. Okay, and so I think we might see an answer. Ate comes in with an answer. My first answer is 24.31 pounds, and that is not correct. That is not correct within tolerance. That is not correct. Not correct within tolerance. And so I'm sorry, Ate, you need to continue trying to model. This is where it gets tricky with a model like this, a tier 6 model where you've got such an elaborate feature tree. Needing to go through and look at all those features can become very, very time consuming. So we're watching the chat. MEHTAB comes in with an answer, 24.52 pounds, and that is not correct. Not correct within tolerance. 24.52. Interesting. Both of our runners, I see that their answers are both very close to one another, but this is where things get interesting. So now both of our runners have answered incorrectly. Now what this means is that both of our runners have a second opportunity to answer incorrectly, but if they answer incorrectly twice, then that's it, and then we're going to bring up a clock that's going to limit the amount of time the other runner has. So this is where I think this tournament gets really interesting, because this allows our runners to go through and to take some measurements and to try to figure out what exactly is going on. I remember Victor K would always say that he would bring up the drawing in an editor, in a like a photo editor, like Paint or something like that, and then he would go through and he would cross off the dimensions. He would check a dimension, cross it off, check a dimension, cross it off, and eventually he would figure out which dimension he was missing. And so I think we see kind of almost like a virtual example of that happening here between MEHTAB and Atse. The problem is, the challenge is, the difficult thing about this format is that you may find one mistake. But what if you've got more than one mistake? What if you originally had more than one mistake? You know, how do you account for that, and how do you get around that? And so,
or if you're like myself and you got squirrel syndrome, and halfway through trying to figure out where you're wrong, you decide to remodel the part because you thought of a better way.
Exactly. Yeah, and we even saw MEHTAB do that there. He switched from doing a revolve to doing an extrude with fillets. And so I thought that was really interesting too. And so both of our runners now, I noticed both of our runners did come up with bring up their mass properties, and they did look at an answer, but neither of them wants to commit. So this is really interesting. Both of our runners are kind of, maybe they've learned a little bit from being in this tournament. This is a tier 6 model. So what did you get wrong? But what if the other runner sneaks in there with the answer? That's the question. That's what makes this thing interesting. And we've got tournament alumni Crispy Co in the chat. Fully defined design. Welcome, my friend from Australia. Very early in the morning over there, or very late at night. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you in here. Wow, guys, so interesting. This is what I think is the most interesting, is seeing how they go through and they try to figure out what they're missing, and when do they decide to actually commit. I think it's such an interesting thing here. You're trying to make sure that you didn't miss anything, but you don't want to leave the door open for your competitor to sneak in with an answer. And Otse comes in with an answer. 23.76 pounds. And Phil, we got ourselves a winner. Moving on to the finals. Congratulations to Otse. Wow, wow, wow. What a run. The correct answer was 23.76 pounds. And Otse earns the victory cap. And Otse earns the win and moves into the finals of this 2026 Winter Freeze tournament. Holy smokes, guys. What a battle. What a match. What a fun couple of drawings there. The ice cube tray and the lantern. And it's going to be Otse from North Macedonia who moves on. And MEHTAB is going to come back next week, and he's going to play for third. So we're still going to see some more action from MEHTAB. MEHTAB, I think that your model, you forgot to shell the bottom part of the area with the frames. So if you look at the bottom there, yeah, that body right there, that face needs to be shelled as well. I think that's what was missing. He shelled the top
and didn't include the bottom.
Yep.
And it bit him.
And I think if you get that one shelled, you'll probably come up with that correct mass. We'll give MEHTAB a chance here to see if he can maybe come up with that correct mass, because it looked like everything else looked really good. I think that was probably it. And if you bring up the mass now, the correct answer is 23.76. And there it is, 23.76 from MEHTAB as well. Guys, what a couple of amazing competitors. Wow, wow, wow. Congratulations to both of our runners. And I hope you guys enjoyed that drawing. That was a fun drawing. Really fun to make that drawing as well. And, man, awesome job. Awesome job to both of our runners. And congratulations to Ate, who moves on, has locked up his prize for next week, which is going to be a 3D Connection prize of some sort. Of course, he's going to be competing for first next week. And guys, put a GG in the chat for our runners. If you're enjoying the show so far, be sure to hit the like button. And we're only halfway through. We've got another epic battle coming up here between Dom and Ricardo. So while these guys are getting ready and while the production team is getting ready, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share and reshare. Don't forget to sign up for a free account. Visit some of our sponsors. Visit our sponsors, mysolidbox.com. Visit Xometry.com. Visit our sponsors. And guys, if you ever want to get more practice like this, you can visit us over at tootalltoby.com as well. Tootalltoby.com is a website that we've put together to help users practice their 3D CAD modeling skills, to give users kind of like a gym where they can go to practice their 3D CAD modeling skills. And so the way that it works is that when you go to tootalltoby.com here on the home page, you'll have the ability to log in to access the entire library. So you create an account, you can start out with a free account, and then you can log in here and you can access the entire library. And what we've put together is we've put together a library of these 2D to 3D CAD challenges, very similar to what we're seeing here from the runners. There's actually over 250 of these challenges in the library now. So you can see that there are quite a few challenges here in the library. And what you can do is you can find one that you like, you can click into it, and then you can choose to attempt to complete that challenge against the clock. So here you can see that the clock is running. How fast can we finish this one? The clock is running here. And what is the mass of this part? It's an ABS. The density here is 1020 kilograms per cubic meter. And the question here is, what is the mass of this part? And when you go to enter in your answer here, if you enter 512.5, enter, it says incorrect. That is incorrect. It's up to you to continue to go through and to try to finish modeling this thing and to get it correct. And we've got users from all over the world working and trying to complete these models. And you can see here in the community scoreboard, this is an app that's available for anyone who's using 3D CAD. It's not specific to any one CAD system. You can see here that Uncle Facepound is at the top of our leaderboard, #1 here using Onshape. He's finished 286 of these challenges. Wow. But you can see here we've got users from all over the world using all different CAD systems. And this is really a great place to go to either learn 3D CAD because you're just learning, you're brand new, or you're just getting into a new CAD system, or to start working on some of your more advanced skills. You can really do either here, because when we look at the library, what we can see in the library is that you can sort the library based on where you are on your CAD journey. If you're just getting started, you can do what's called a Tier 1 challenge. Here you can see the library of Tier 1 challenges. These usually only take a few different features to complete these challenges, maybe 1 or 2 features to complete these challenges. And you can see here that if you get stuck while you're trying to do one of these Tier 1 challenges, right underneath the challenge, available for everybody, we've got tutorials. So if you happen to get stuck doing one of these challenges, you can't figure out what you're missing, what dimension am I missing, or what feature should I use there? Well, we've got community tutorials listed down below here, posted by different members of the community. Or maybe you're looking to get some practice on a very specific type of modeling. Like maybe at your job, you never do sheet metal and you're ready to up your sheet metal game. Well, here you can see you can filter by sheet metal challenges. You can filter by difficulty of sheet metal challenge. You can filter here by your, maybe by 3D printable challenges that are optimized for 3D printing. Or if you're in here in the library a lot, the other thing that's really nice is that you can sort based on the year. So you can say, I want to see only the 2026 challenges. So far we've released 10 challenges in 2026. Some of them actually came from the tournament. A lot of times we take these models from the tournament and we add them to the library. But look, guys, if you're looking to learn 3D CAD, or if you're looking to participate in some fun speed modeling challenges against other members of the community, or if you're just looking to maybe learn some new areas or just get some CAD practice in, this is the place to go, tootalltoby.com. You can sign up for free. Usually we have between 10 and 20 challenges that are free. Let's see what we have right now. 14 challenges that are free for anybody with a free account. And then if you really feel like you're getting a lot out of this app, if you want to, continue your CAD journey, you can sign up for our premium membership and you can unlock the entire library. And we have a lot of fun. We live stream every Monday, and during the live stream, we usually add a new model here, and we let people do the model during the live stream. We have a function here in the analytics of the challenge called the first 42. So after we release the challenge on Monday, like 1:34 on Monday, we release the challenge. Well, 4 minutes and 20 seconds later, Misa from Poland finished that challenge using Fusion. Yo, shout out to Fusion. That's what we like to see. So our Fusion user, between the time he first saw this drawing and the time he submitted the correct answer, it was just 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That is incredible. So from the time it was released to the time he solved it and had the correct answer. So guys, if this is the kind of thing that you enjoy doing, this speed modeling, this is definitely a great website to sign up for. And just one more kind of quick shout out here. If you are in the world of SolidWorks and you're looking to get some training, up at the top of the library, we are hosting an upcoming live training class, an instructor-led training class. It's a web meeting that I'm going to be hosting for 2 days where we're going to be teaching people how to do advanced functionality in SolidWorks. So if you want to take some training with Too Tall Toby, this is your chance. It's online. You can take the training from anywhere, and all the information about this is right at the top of the library at tootalltoby.com.
So just curious, Toby, if you sign up for a membership on the YouTube channel, do you get a membership to the website?
No, they're not linked right now. It's a good question, Phil. They're not linked right now. The YouTube channel membership is really just like a way of supporting. It's kind of like a value for value thing where if you enjoy what we're doing here, but you're not trying to sign up for practice models, then you could consider signing up on YouTube or doing a super chat on YouTube, something like that. But they're not currently linked. Yeah, maybe it's something we'll do in the future, but it's not, there's a lot of different people in the Too Tall Toby community, and different people are here for different things. Some people are here to do the tournaments. We've got the tournaments page here, the CAD vs. CAD tournaments, and then the wall of history here. Some people are here for that. Some people are here to do the practice models app. They just want to be involved with the practice models. Some people just come for Model Monday Live. They just want to come and they want to be part of the community, and they hang out on Model Monday Live and they try to earn points on the leaderboard for Model Monday Live. So, different people come for different things. And if you have the financial means to support, we welcome it any way that you can. But, it's no pressure. We put out a ton of free content for everybody as well. And that's kind of how we've been running the company since the start. And it's been working out pretty good. Cool, guys. So thank you guys again so much for all the support. Thanks to everybody who has signed up for practice models. It's a great way to get in there and get some practice. And it's you versus the clock. You got filters. You got community tutorials. I think we covered pretty much everything in there. I think we're ready for the second half of the show, Phil. Phil, anything else you want to say? I know there were some people that maybe weren't here at the beginning. Maybe you could just remind them about what you've got coming up here in February with your training.
Yeah, no problem. I'd be happy to jump in and say anything and everything. Obviously, as you guys know, if you've been here before, yours truly is Fusion Phil, and I actually am an Autodesk reseller as well. Have my own YouTube channel based on doing all things cam. Now we are adding some more CAD stuff in to make this more realistic, but outside of that, we are going to be live in person down in Tampa, Florida, where we are doing our good old-fashioned Fusion boot camp, and we're road tripping North Dakota down through Illinois to get there. So if you're along the way, feel free to jump on, give us a shout out. You guys can get signed up. That's in-person training only. We also, not to brag, and I keep telling Toby to do this, we do a buy me a beer program. So if you guys love me being here, not to throw that in there, y'all can head to our website and buy me a beer just as a joke. It's a fun time. Making things great. And I see somebody out there asking about my channel. I'll go ahead and throw it in chat.
Yes, please do.
I think Mickey's going to fix it for me and make it clickable for you guys.
Yes, awesome. Guys, Phil puts out a ton of great content for all Fusion users, both CAD and CAM. So be on the lookout for his content. Check out his channel, and thank you, Phil, for always being such a great co-commentator as well. It's been awesome having you here. We always get requests from people saying, "You got to have Phil back. You got to have Phil back." So
well, it always cracks me up because I know at about Thursday 4 p.m. my time, I'm going to get a message on Discord asking if I can help host tomorrow.
Yep, that's about right. That is about the timeline that we work on here. We are definitely deadline heroes here, but we still somehow managed to get it done. So thank you, Phil. We couldn't do it without people like you. And guys, let's get into the second half of the show here. We're in our semifinals, and in the second half of the semifinals, we're going to see Dom from the United States going up against Ricardo. Dom was able to knock out M, who was using plasticity, I think our first time plasticity user here. Maybe we had one other plasticity in the past. And Ricardo went up against a Fusion user, Darren, Gold Darren from the UK. And so shout out to Gold Darren. He's been in the Discord a lot lately, asking some great questions, bringing up some great conversations. And so we see here now we're going to have Ricardo going up against Dom. SolidWorks versus SolidWorks. Brazil. Ricardo sometimes represents Italy, but on this one he's representing Brazil, going up against the United States. And so to get things started here, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick, we call this a tech check. We just want to make sure that we've got everything in line here for the runners, make sure that we can see their screens and make sure that they can answer. We saw in the last tech check, we had one of our runners kind of not able to answer. So we want to make sure that we give them a chance to work out any bugs, as well as make sure we get a chance to work out any bugs. So here we go. This practice battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. So the question here is, what is the mass of this part in 0.xx pounds? Some of our models today are in pounds, some are in grams. And so here we go. Take a look at this CAD versus CAD battle. We got Dom on the left, running SolidWorks. We got Ricardo on the right, running SolidWorks. These guys are two of the best, very, very experienced in both CAD and manufacturing, and also very experienced in customizing their user interface to have images in the background. And Dom, Ricardo coming with an answer 0.260. Dom coming with an answer 0.260. Guys, the correct answer is 0.260. And so if this were a live match, we would say congratulations to Ricardo. He would earn the point, and we would move on. And so good luck to both of our runners. Looks like everybody's working good. Tech check is working good. Everything is good here. And so now we get to move on to the Wheel of Fate, brought to us by our friends over at Plasticity. Plasticity offers advanced and Class A surfacing. And so, guys, if you ever are looking for some awesome direct editing, Class A surfacing, easy interoperability with your CAD system, you can visit our friends at plasticity.xyz. And here we see the Wheel of Fate. There are 4 choices on the Wheel of Fate. You can type into the chat if you want to prove your clairvoyance. 14, 13, 16, or 17. What drawing? What do you think it's going to be, Phil?
I got to stay with 15. Well, no, 15's out of the running, right?
Yeah, 16 was your number.
16.
Sweet 16
was what it was.
All right. Sweet 16 is the number. So, guys, we don't know what it's going to be. It's not really up to us. It's really up to the Wheel of Fate to determine what it's going to be. But we see people in the chat are all trying to prove their clairvoyance, and it's Guntis who leads things off with 16, John G 13, Mr. Misa 16, Jim U 13, Dom 17, John G 16, MHWAC 17, The Vicky Chong 17, Big B from AZ 13, Jamie 14, Otse 14, Uncle Facepound 14. Let's go.
I like how everybody's guessing everything but what I picked.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there we go. And Tim thinks it's going to be
Y'all got no
60s,
faith.
All right, here
No
we go.
faith in Fusion Phil's number selection.
We're going to shuffle this thing as well here. So shuffle, 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 spin. I always try to shuffle and then jump to spin so I don't know which one it's going to start on. Here we go. What is it going to be?
There it is.
Oh,
Finally.
Wow. You did it, Phil. First try. All right.
First try. Yeah. First try right now.
Well, guys, looks like we're going to be going to challenge number 16. Of course, we randomize this so that it is truly random for our runners. And with that in mind, Phil, maybe as the production team is getting this challenge ready, you can let us know a little bit about our runners.
Sure thing. So I do got to give a shout out to my boy Dom over there. I meant to stop in and see him in Bismarck when I traveled through yesterday, but it was so cold that the temperature was more negative than it is positive in a lot of places.
Wow.
But started using SolidWorks in 2019 at 19 years old. Again, I think this is one of those things that an old timer like myself, a gaming mouse isn't going to save us for latency and keeping up with these guys. But outside of that, entire adult career has been in manufacturing. I can relate. Same over here. Enjoys the outdoors and designing and building projects. Who doesn't?
Nice.
Now, outside of that, he has a pet Quaker parrot named Bella. So again, I would be curious. Does that parrot talk? I was in San Diego with my mother and father-in-law, and they have parrots, and they would just not stop talking. It was quite wild. Maybe the parrot says "Too tall, Toby," but
yes.
Outside of that, let's go over to Ricardo real quick. Loves his wife. She is wonderful. That is great. Outside of that, owner of, I can't even pronounce that.com.
Yep.
Where Brazilian designers grow up. Outside, again, we got SolidWorks teacher on YouTube. He's got his own YouTube channel. We can go ahead and get that thrown up in chat for everybody. Lastly, 5 entries at Too Tall Toby tournaments, winning at least 2. He's a belt defender.
He's
this
a world
is crazy
champion.
because we might see the three-peat, right?
Yeah. He's the only one who's ever won 2. And now he might end up taking it one step further, proving true GOAT status. But he has got a very tough competitor in Dom. So this is not going to be easy. So here we go, guys. We've got Dom. Wait, actually, are you ready, Phil?
I'm always ready.
All right.
Let's get her over with.
All right, here we go. See what we're going to do. We see people already rooting for them in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. On the left, we've got Dom, our number 6 seed, running SolidWorks from the United States. On the right, we've got Ricardo Jean, SolidWorks user from Italy and Brazil, 2-time tournament winner, currently the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. This epic CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this multi-body part or assembly? In xxx.x grams. The tolerance on this thing is 0.3 grams. And this, of course, is a warm soup ladle. A warm soup ladle. You can see it's got a wooden handle. It's got that metal stem and the metal hook at the bottom. And we see that it's got 2 parts, the handle and the scoop. The handle's made of American cherry. The scoop is made of plain carbon steel. And of course, the handle is notched out to accept that scoop. Let's jump over to this battle. We've got Dom on the left running SolidWorks. We've got Ricardo Jean on the right running SolidWorks. Interesting to see that both of them look to have jumped into this thing at the same spot. Both of them are jumping in and creating what looks to be the scoop. So interesting. Always interesting to see 2 runners starting this thing. And, usually we would say 2 runners starting this thing in a different way. But what's kind of interesting about this one is that this is 2 runners starting this thing in a different way than I would have. I would have started with the handle. So not only did one of them do it differently than me, but they both did. So really, really interesting to see here. And looks like Ricardo is going to draw first blood. Ricardo on the right running SolidWorks, drawing first blood, getting that sphere created, hollowing it out. Meanwhile, we got Dom on the left. Looks like he's trying to use a thin feature. It's always fun to see Dom trying to do a thin feature in SolidWorks because SolidWorks just seems to constantly fight when you try to do a thin feature. So
By thin feature, I assume you're meaning thin-walled, right?
Yeah, thin-walled feature. So you just draw like an open sketch, a line and an arc. Don't close it off, and then go to do something and apply the wall thickness while you're creating the feature. Something that, it takes a little getting used to in SolidWorks. I guess I'll just say it that way.
100%. I'm getting a kick out of watching these guys because I think this is one of these parts that I would probably Ivan export the crap out of this thing.
Yeah.
It
There's probably some places where you can. I mean, this one might be a little bit easier said than done. Listen, the design of the handle, the wooden handle, is tapered. It starts wider at the top and then it gets more narrow at the bottom. And then the metal handle is designed such that it has to follow that same angle, that it needs to be coplanar to that sidewall. It needs to continue to follow that angle down. So you do kind of need to design them together. But you know, we'll see how these guys end up doing it. It's really interesting. It's so interesting that they both made that sphere and made it on the angle like that. That's really, really interesting to see them both starting it this way.
It's almost like they both took the same prep course.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they've both seen plenty of my videos and have done plenty of work watching each other's videos. So really, really interesting here, and good to see the thin wall feature command coming into play here. All right, I like this. I like the way Ricardo's screen is looking here. Looks like Dom's also taking this approach of kind of starting this thing out wider, and I'm assuming he's going to try to narrow that thing down once he gets the handle in place. This is one where if you kind of have to look at it first for a little bit to come up with a game plan before you can really get into the 3D CAD, and maybe you'll save yourself.
Yeah, you know what's kind of wild, though, is they both went in and started design this exactly like how it sits in the drawing, which maybe that's where it came from, that's the way they built it.
Sure. We'll see what they get up to here.
It's always interesting. I know I could talk a lot of smack over here since I'm not the one on the screen doing it, but maybe I'll have to join you for Modeling Monday, and we'll dive into a couple of parts like this and look at some different thought processes.
I think that the audience would really get a kick out of that, and I think we gotta definitely make it happen. So here we see Ricardo. Looks like he's going to be bringing out that handle. He's including the notch in the handle as he creates it. Okay. Now maybe he's going to run into a little bit of a challenge because, like I mentioned, the way that the handle is defined in the drawing is such that the width of the handle at the top is shown. Here we can see it on this view. I'll try not to cover.
There's definitely some taper to it.
There's definitely some taper to it. I'll try to cover up Dom's screen too much, but the width of the handle here is shown. I do apologize. I'm covering up Dom. I'm going to get this over here. The width of the handle here is shown at 30 millimeters at the virtual sharp, and then the width at the bottom is shown there at 22. And so now our runners are going to have to try to figure out how to get that taper captured when they've already constructed that handle, as a sideways solid.
That is true. I mean, at the end of the day, though, what's 5 millimeters in bald eagles for those of you guys out there? Because that's a pretty stout spoon. I don't know what you're picking up. Maybe it's lava rocks, but
it's for warm soup.
Warm soup. This thing is going to hold an asteroid at the end of the day.
Yeah. Listen, we don't want it to break.
3/16 of an inch is pretty close to 196.
Yep.
Let's just. When you have hot soup and nails to pull out of a board.
Exactly.
In the same afternoon.
You could use it for anything. It's multi-purpose.
It's definitely a different way to go about it. They're both, like you said, they're kind of doing the same approach on this one overall with the different views and directions. Now, when I get on your channel and we do some of these a little slower with a little bit more of a mindset or thought process, I think a lot of you are going to be shocked what tool I abuse the most here.
Oh, nice. A unique tool to Fusion or available in multiple CAD systems?
It's available in almost all CAD systems, but it's, like I said, it's a thought process way to think about a lot of this.
Okay.
And I think we showed a little bit in some of our CAD videos. We don't do a ton of CAD videos, but yeah, it's going to be something I think a lot of you will start to see the way I look at these, and then you'll outside the box think a little bit more.
Well, very interesting here. We've got, looks like Ricardo is coming down the home stretch, maybe doing a combine there, trying to get these things combined together, and we may end up seeing an answer. We're going to keep an eye on the chat here, and see if he comes in. But very, very interesting. Meanwhile, we've got Dom going through, and also looks like maybe he's going to be assigning some materials and coming up with a mass here. Both of our runners are really coming down the home stretch here, and Ricardo Jean comes in with an answer. 591.7, and that is not correct. That is not correct with intolerance, Ricardo. So, Ricardo, that is not correct with intolerance, and he's going to need to try to come up with do a little audit on his model and see if he can't figure out where he went wrong, what he did wrong with that model, and we're going to keep an eye out. And Aaron C. in the chat says, I've been holding back, but now that they're past it, I'm going to say it. I think this is a great part for the indent feature. Yes, and of course, that is Aaron C.'s probably second favorite feature after Boss Extrude.
I'm waiting for it. I keep seeing him pull up the menu. There it is.
All right, and Dom comes in with an answer, 490.6, and that is not correct. That is not correct, Dom. And so now Dom and Ricardo have both been a little bit stumped by this model. They are both now going to need to do an audit on their model, and they're going to need to figure out what went wrong. What did I do wrong? What did I miss from this model? So they're going to need to look at the drawing. They're going to need to go back through and look at their dimensions, and they're going to need to try to figure out something is off here. Something's different from the drawing, and it's causing the mass to be wrong. And they're going to need to try to figure out what it is that they are doing wrong. So
Big Frama's out there is asking if I just cut extrude everything. Yep. Boleyn remove all of it.
Nice.
Right? Including myself from the competition. No.
Very nice.
No, like I said, I'll do some videos on some of your guys' drawings of that. I know I missed out on it last week for those other ones, and it was because I was traveling. But I'll maybe this Thursday I'll do a Too Tall Toby throwback to the last time I was hosting with the snowshoe.
Sure. Yeah, let me know. I mean, I could jump on your stream as well, and we could maybe do some collab over there.
Either or, it doesn't. I'm happy just showing you guys what I don't know.
Oh, and Phil,
helping
we got
the
a second
community.
answer in the chat. The second answer comes in from Dom, and his answer is 587.7 grams. Phil, that is not correct. Dom, I'm sorry, that is not correct. That is not correct. And so Dom, unfortunately, cannot answer. And now we bring up the clock of doom. Yes, indeed. The clock of doom is up and running now. And so what this means is that now that Dom is out of the race and Dom cannot get the point for this one, it's up to Ricardo to get this one correct. But Ricardo is going to need to answer within the next 5 minutes in order to get this correct. Okay, and this way the match won't go on indefinitely, and it will be up to Ricardo to try to figure out what exactly is going on with his model and what maybe could be done to help get this model into a shape where he's able to earn the point for it. So we see Ricardo now has the clock of doom. Unfortunately for Dom, he was not able to come up with the correct answer, and so we're gonna see what happens next here. Ricardo looking through his model, fully defined design, says, bad luck, Dom. Dom's trying to go through and figure out maybe what he had wrong on that. Go get fully defined, Ricardo. Hassan in the chat says, I think I got it. Nice work, my friend. The more you practice here, the better you're going to be, the more ready you're going to be for the summer tournament.
There's a couple of things. I'll tell you guys what I think here after they wrap this up about the old Ivan exploit I might pull off. Checking everything.
Yeah, checking everything. See, look at this. Ricardo Jean says, I don't know about that sketch. I don't like the way that sketch looks.
I think he's on to something.
Yeah.
He is definitely on to something.
I mean, this is what, we mentioned this in the last match also. What makes this interesting is that he only has one more shot at this thing, and so I think that he's pretty confident that what he just found was incorrect, but what he doesn't know is whether or not there was anything else that was incorrect.
100%. It's kind of interesting because when you submit your answer, you don't get an over or under report back at the end of the day.
It's true. I mean, you don't get it back until the highlight video. Or until
the highlight video.
Yeah, but you don't get it right away. That's true, yeah. We don't tell you if you're too high, too low. We just tell you if you got it right within tolerance or not. That's all you get. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And listen to this hype music coming in.
I'm kind of jealous because if you guys don't know co-hosting, you don't get the hype music.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, sorry about that, Phil. You don't get to hear the hype music. It's hypey. Yeah, Jern saying the 22 dimension across the wood handle is kind of weirdly placed. Yes, indeed. Yep. A little bit weirdly placed. I agree. We did throw a Toby note on the end to make it very clear what it is, but Ricardo Jean says, let's go. I think we might end up seeing an answer here. Okay, and Ricardo Jean coming in with an answer. 5. Wait, isn't this the same answer he put in before? I think he might have miscopied his previous answer. Let me just go back and check and make sure it's not the same. 591.73, yeah. Unless he just happened to get the exact same answer again. Ricardo, just go ahead. If that was entered intentionally as the same answer, let me know. If you might just not copy paste. Oh, it does look like it's the same though. So we are going to accept that. It does look like it's the same. So Ricardo Jean coming in with his answer, 591.73. Even after making those changes, he still had the exact same answer. And guys, that is not correct. And this is going to be a push. And so no points are earned for this first matchup between these Titans. And guys, if you think you know the correct answer and you want to enter it in the chat, please feel free to do so. I see Atse comes in with his answer, 592.21. Goldarin 594.81, and MEHTAB says that was unlucky. Dom says 591.73. That was the same answer that Ricardo came up with. Interesting, you guys both came up with the same answer there. Weird. He says weird, yeah. So the correct answer, Atse got it pretty close. Correct answer is 592.4. I think Atse was 592.2. It's plus or minus 0.3, so 592.1 would be the min range. So the correct answer for this one is 592.4 grams, and this one is going to be a push. Congratulations to Atse. Interesting. It's the handle, the one that I thought was kind of a little bit easier that ended up being a push. Carter Jean says, I don't see the error. Maybe rotate your view to a front view. Let's see if maybe if there's something there. Yeah, at the that bottom section, is that bottom section tapered too? That bottom section, the edges should be parallel. It may have been that. Are those parallel there? Check the connection to the top of the scoop handle. Oh, they are parallel. Yeah, I didn't see it exactly. But we'll have to figure it out. I'd say got it. Yep. I'd say got it. They are parallel. Yeah. There must be something in there. If I'd say got it and I got it, and I checked it on multiple CAD systems.
Is his dimensions for the 30 tangent off the arc to the outside? Up at the top for the handle?
Oh, dimensions to the
radiuses that blend from the
That's a good
upper
question.
arc into the handles.
Are those to the virtual sharp or do they point a tangency?
Yeah, they were supposed to be tangent at 30, right?
No, they're to the virtual sharp.
Oh,
but man, that would be a tiny little deviation. I can't imagine that would push it out of spec that much.
See, that's how I took that on that drawing, is that you want it off of the tangent off of the arc since it doubles back. Not the,
sometimes I got to put like explicit notes on the drawings. Like this one, it does say to the virtual sharp. So the virtual sharp is the intersection. Yeah, that's to the virtual
intersect
sharp.
point in space.
Well, guys, listen, it's a push. Regardless, it's a push.
There's definitely a couple places now that you got that pulled up that I would Ivan export. One is the handle where the actual wood sits, how deep the metal spoon is, where you have that 7 call out right there in the middle. That really doesn't matter as long as she's in there. You got the hole at the top, doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't intersect the metal. There's quite a bit here.
Oh, I like it.
I think the last one I would do is, I think a lot of people were trying to chase the idea that the actual spoon, the bottom concave, needs to be attached to the handle at all. I don't think so.
Wow. I like the chat. I like how the chat's like all, they're getting into it. They're like, I'm doing this one now. I'm doing this one now. Dom now says 592.4. That's the right answer, 592.4. I went 30 millimeters to tangency and said, wow, that tiny little deviation is what caused it. Really? That's crazy.
So was it 30 to tangent or was it virtual?
Not a virtual sharp. Oops, let's go back. Hold on, sorry. Dom's showing his screen here. Yeah, to virtual sharp, yep.
Dang.
Wow,
So that's
was
one
it.
of those moves where you got to put the fillets on it after you modeled it.
Yeah. Or dimension it to the virtual sharp. Yep. I can't believe that tiny little deviation though pushed it out. That's crazy. That is crazy. And Ricardo
It just
Jean's
shows that
still
the SolidWorks
593.
users are consistently wrong across both of them.
Wow. Phil.
Shots fired. All
Shots
right.
fired.
I'll keep it down over here.
Tolerances are not much tolerant. Yeah, it's true. All right, boys,
Hey,
listen.
Fusion doesn't give you the chance to dim off the virtual sharp unless you have it fully sketched.
Yeah, SolidWorks makes it really easy. You can just drop in a
That
point.
is neat. There's a
Yep.
lot of things in SolidWorks I see that I could see the value in.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, listen, guys, that was awesome. I love when we have a push. It's, it's awesome when there's a push. It's awesome. We all win, really. We all get to see another match. So GG to the winner, which is all of us. GG to all of us. And guys, we're going to turn back to plasticity to help us determine what the next challenge is going to be, the Wheel of Fate. Now, normally I go through and I read everybody's answers, but when we start getting down to just the final 2 or 3 challenges here, I don't really go through and read everybody's answer. So we're just going to shuffle this thing. I'm just going to ask you, Phil, what do you think it's going to be? You already got your one correct. You want to go 2 for 2?
Well, 13's unlucky, so
Okay.
in the world of what I do, I'm very unlucky, it seems.
All right, I like it. Here we go. Shuffle, 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 and spin. Round and round it goes. What does the Wheel of Fate have in store for us? Oh, boy. All right, guys. This is one that I wasn't sure if I was going to include this one in the tournament. But I decided, you know what? These guys are awesome. They can handle it. So here we go. We're going to take a look at our next challenge, which is going to be drawing number 17. Congratulations to everybody who predicted drawing number 17. And thank you to our friends over at Plasticity for sponsoring the Wheel of Fate. And of course, thank you so much to our friends over at Xometry for sponsoring this epic matchup. Guys, if you're not familiar with Xometry, they provide manufacturing on demand, which means that you can take your 3D CAD models and get them turned into physical parts. And if you act today, you can use coupon code Toby20CAD and save 20% off your first order. And that is going to allow you to save up to $200, valid through the end of February. Details down below in the description. And Phil, while we are getting this next CAD vs. CAD battle ready, would you mind just telling us a little bit about these runners? I know we've already kind of learned a lot about them, but maybe if you've got anything else. Wait, this is not our runners. Hold on. That was the wrong slide.
I was going to say,
that is not
Dom,
our
you look
runners.
a little off
These
there.
are not the runners we're looking for. Here we go. I think we may have already learned about these runners, but maybe you could just tell us a little bit more about these runners.
Yeah, so once again, we got Dom over there, obviously sitting in a chair doing a little ice fishing up here in the polar north, but enjoying outdoor, designing, building his projects. He's got that parrot. Parrot's a good time. Nonetheless, you got Ricardo over there. He's Brazilian and Italian. I wonder what the cooking in his house would taste like. And he has been a SolidWorks expert, 19 years as a user. That is crazy nonetheless.
Wow.
And it looks like he's multi-generational SolidWorks user.
Wow. That is awesome. And the Vicky Chong says delicious, and Big B from AZ says probably delicious. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, listen, guys. This is going to be good. Shake it off. We're ready for the next match. Here we go. This next CAD vs. CAD battle featuring Dom from the United States running SolidWorks going up against our current world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, Ricardo Jean from Brazil. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this multi-body part or assembly in XXX.X pounds? Both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture. Both of our runners are moving that screen capture onto their second screen and attempting to model this thing up. This is an oldie but a goodie. It's the ski lift chair. I wasn't sure if I was going to include this or not. This was originally dedicated to our friend Aaron C. We've done a little bit of a remix here for this challenge so that our runners don't have too much of an advantage if they've done this before. But this one is available in our library at tootalltoby.com. It's made from various materials. You got to see the bill of materials. It's made from some tubing. It's made from some solid stock, some bar stock. It's made from some plastic seats. What is the mass of this multi-body part or assembly in XXX.X pounds? This is going to test these guys on their ability to manage multi-body, their ability to do sweeps, their ability to remove some materials from other materials. You can see the way that the chair is cut. The tube geometry is removed from the benches clean and with no gaps. And also, please note, all dimensions are to the tube and bar center lines unless otherwise specified. So when we call out a bend radius or anything like that, it's actually a center line dimension, not a inside or outside dimension. Center line dimensions unless otherwise specified. Good luck to our runners. Here we go. Both of our runners are in their CAD systems. Dom is on the left running SolidWorks. Ricardo is on the right running SolidWorks. They're only a minute and a half into this challenge, but they've both already come up with a game plan. They've both already started creating sketches, and it looks like Ricardo has drawn first blood, already sweeping a tube around this thing. Wow, wow, wow.
I'm still speechless by the fact that this came up in the drawing.
Yeah,
but the more I look at it, the more I realize it's not that bad.
Not that bad. I mean, listen, this is a tier 6, okay? This is a tier 6 multi-body. This is not that easy. This is one that, you know, if you take your time and you really work your way through, you'll be able to get through it. But unfortunately, that's a little antithetical to what we're doing here in the tournament. It's not about taking your time. It's about creating geometry. The thing is, there's so many dimensions on this thing. There's so many different parts working together that if you miss one little dimension, you're going to have a really hard time figuring out what you missed. So, man, this is going to be tough.
I gotta say though, what's a tier 10 part this season? An entire ski lift?
I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have to get into those levels where we'll see what ends up happening.
You gotta design an entire chair lift, including the mountain and tree line.
Maybe that's where we gotta end up going here to get up to tier 10.
Man, this is good. I like this. This is similar to the approach I would take. That's for sure.
Yeah, you got in the drawing, and we can kind of see this from the rendering here that's on screen. Everybody who's watching can kind of see this in the rendering that's on screen. You've got, you know, there's obviously some 3D sweeping going on here, some 3D sketching or 3D, at least 3D sweeping, because you've got that kind of main tube that goes up and around, and that main tube is made from plain carbon steel, and it is a tube. Now you can see that orange round part that's coming up and around, I call them the arm rests. Those are made from bar stock. Those are made from solid bar stock. And then that orange tube kind of goes and feeds into that larger tube. So the orange tube has diameter of 2 inches solid, and then you've got the tubes which have a 3-inch outer diameter and a 2-inch inner diameter. So that orange part kind of like sits inside of that other tube. And then of course you've got the plastic parts, and when it comes to those plastic parts, the geometry of the tube gets removed from those plastic parts, and that kind of introduces its own set of challenges too. So this is definitely one of these models that you want to try to discretize it. You want to try to figure out, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. You want to have a game plan going into it. I think if you just jump in and start drawing geometry, you're going to end up in a spot that's going to be really difficult to solve and really difficult to troubleshoot. Here we see Dom on the right using SolidWorks, and it looks like he's going to be performing another sweep here. Looks like he was able to get in and do a convert entities on that geometry and now sweep the other part of that tube. So it looks like Dom has got a pretty good start on this thing, but maybe I wonder what he's going to end up doing here, doing some kind of a split here, splitting this thing in half. We don't see split too often in these tournaments. I know that sometimes people get a little gun shy using that command.
Nothing wrong with a little cut, little split surface, split body.
Yeah. I know there's. I'm not gonna say anything. I just want to watch these guys. And
yeah, it's so hard not to just sit here and speak on this. We almost need to get in a position where we have a broadcaster's booth where we could say as much as we want and they can't hear us. But
yeah, I mean, listen, that's definitely on the horizon. Maybe we'll do an experimental tournament or maybe even like a grudge match where we can experiment with that. I do have some solutions for that maybe would let us do that.
At least I gotta say, the shape of the tubing here is relatively pretty 2D and not too crazy 3D.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, no twists, no helices or anything like that. So
no trophy truck roll cage.
Yeah, so interesting. Dom going through there and choosing to unmerge. He did an unmerge there, and then he did a mirror. And now SolidWorks has the new double mirror, so he was able to mirror in the mirror again to get that shape. And let's see, assigning.
So I'm going to reveal now some of the tricks that I would use, and Dom just pulled it off there with the mirror. That when you guys look back at this video and look at some of these drawings, the amount of mirroring you could get away with to save time, 100% useful.
Yeah, and it's good if you know some of the tricks too, like you know, when you do a revolve in CAD, in Fusion, I believe in Fusion, and also in SolidWorks and in Onshape, you can get a doubled dimension when you create a dimension to a center line, so that you can revolve about that for the diameter. Well, that's a trick that I use a lot when I'm mirroring too. You know, I'll create a dimension that goes to the center line, double that dimension across the center line, and that way I've got the max width, and then and then I just draw half of the thing. And then when I, then I go to mirror it at the end, and then I've got that doubled dimension. So there's definitely some good dimensioning strategies that you can get into in this too. This is really cool.
I do like how both of them started with the kind of side profile out in space. I think me personally here, I would have started actually in the middle and worked outwards, which would allow me to use one sketch, technically two sketches. I could have put my seats and my tubing kind of all in one spot, and then worked outwards from the middle and mirrored everything across.
Yeah, it's funny. I was about to say the same thing. Like, really interesting to see that they both kind of start just like exactly what you said. Kind of started out in space, almost anticipating the mirror that was coming downstream. But they are both just absolutely cruising through this thing. I think both of them have had a chance to model something similar to this in the past, and so they're kind of drawing on that experience. Like I said, I do have a similar model to this in the library, and I thought, I wasn't sure if I was going to include this one. I usually try to have all fresh material for the tournament, but I actually thought this might be interesting in the semifinals to kind of, to see something that they have drawn before and maybe do have some strategies already ready to go. And it definitely, I think, has made this challenge go faster. I mean, we're only 7 minutes into this thing, and they're both kind of coming down the finish line here. So now the question is, how do you remove the material of one part from the other? Or are they going to use a different strategy to clear out those chairs? Because right now the chairs are overlapping. And so what are they going to do to remove the material of one model from the other? And we're going to see how they end up doing it.
I may have helped Ricardo out there a little bit, because he just pulled the move with the mirror that I would have did, where I would have did the tubing and seat covers all in one shot, and then a good old-fashioned combine to stitch them back together.
Good old-fashioned combine. You like it.
Material removal between the two. Again, this is fun when I get to watch SolidWorks only. I mean, that's nothing more than a combine also on our end to be able to take the seat pieces away.
So Ricardo coming in with an answer, 728.27. That is not correct. That is not correct with intolerance. That is not correct. That is not correct with intolerance. So Ricardo possibly opening the door for Dom. Both of them are right on the home stretch. I can't believe they were able to get this tier 6 multi-body completed in under 10 minutes. Wow. Super impressive here from both of our runners. And let's see how they end up kind of double checking this, but Ricardo comes in with his first answer, 728, and that is 728.3, and that is not correct. That is not correct with intolerance. And so both of our runners are going to now be trying to figure out what they did, Ricardo is now going to try to figure out what he did wrong. He's going to try to find at least one mistake, and we don't know if he's got one mistake or multiple mistakes, and nobody knows unless you're super attentive to this model and to the drawing. Okay, and we see Dom bringing up his mass properties window. And Dom coming in with an answer, 730.6. And Phil, that is correct. And wow, congratulations to Dom locking down the first point in this CAD vs. CAD battle. And wow, that is awesome. And what a battle there. And Phil, man, that was a cool model. That is a very cool model, and really cool to see our runners kind of going through and modeling that thing up. And Phil, we're heading into almost 2 hours here in the live stream. I think I'm going to step away just for a second, just a quick bio break. But maybe what you could do is while I'm taking this break, maybe you could talk the audience through a little bit of maybe how you would approach a challenge like this.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like we kind of talked about, I think the big thing that you guys saw on this in particular was the fact that they both started on the outside of the chair, and then from there, they proceeded to do basically the armrest and everything out in space. And then they worked back towards the middle, and there was mirroring. One mirrored the tubing, the other mirrored, obviously, the tubing and seats and everything in one shot. Now, personally, I think I would have started at the middle out kind of scenario. And if you actually look up there in the upper right area, I guess he doesn't have numbers and letters on his drawing for me to call out. But if you think, coming off of that actual tubing, you could have came out then down. Again, Fusion has 3D sketching, which would be the profile I would have drawn for my tubing. And then as for the two seats, they could have all been driven off a center line of the chair and then outwards. Again, that's me personally. It allows you, again, in the world of Fusion, you could do an extrude to surface or extrude to sketch to get your distance, and then mirror everything across as we saw Ricardo do. Finally wrapping up, I think in this case, you actually wouldn't have to combine, which I have an export, guys. You wouldn't have to combine the seat cushions that would have been in 2 pieces each, or the tubing around the top, because obviously at the end, the only thing that matters is getting down to that point of the total weight of everything. So again, I don't know, guys, you let me know in chat. Did you see where Ricardo might have missed or what he slipped up on? Left of the title block? Question. Left of the title block. What do you got left of the title block? Let me know. I'm looking, the way I'm thinking is more in the top right, the uncolored image of the actual drawing. So again, that's tube size, the 8 inches. That's what Dom's thinking is Ricardo got wrong, is the 8-inch distance in where the tubes overlap and can join together.
See, maybe we'll head back over here and see what they're up to. I think one of the coolest things is seeing how they troubleshoot and seeing how they try to figure out.
100%.
Yeah. Well, listen, Phil, thank you for covering for me there. And well done to Dom earning that first point and cutting his path on the way to the finals. That is awesome. And so that was a pretty fun model. And thank you, Phil, for explaining to the audience kind of how you would model through that. It's a really fun example of how to do multi-body. You run into some interesting things in SolidWorks. The way SolidWorks does Boolean subtracts is kind of tricky. Sometimes in a spot like this, I mean, first of all, when it comes to doing a Boolean subtract on this model and removing the material of the tubes from the seats, so taking those tubes and removing that from those plastic seats, sometimes you end up with some additional material on the inside. So that's a little bit of a gotcha there. And then the other part of it that's a little bit tricky is that SolidWorks doesn't let you keep the tool behind. Fusion lets you do a subtract but keep the tool behind. Onshape lets you do a subtract and keep the tool behind, but SolidWorks doesn't. So you either have to double that tube, or the other way you could do it would be maybe just to do it with a cut sweep. Just use the same path that you used for the tube, but do it as a cut sweep with a solid circle, and that way you'll remove that material. So could you sweep remove using Geico? Exactly. You got it, Serial Sal. Serial Sal, we are connected. That is exactly what I was thinking.
See, now that you mentioned that, that's really good, is that little piece that would have been left behind, it would have made me think that instead of, going off and doing a sweep to create, as they did 2 circles, Fusion's tube tool, I could have did a solid tube and then shelled the tube, which is the trick, right? Yep. So that would have guaranteed you would have Boolean removed or combined and cut that cushion. Yep.
That's how I did it in Onshape, because Onshape lets you keep the tool behind. SolidWorks, you have to double the body first, and then you could do the subtract, and then it blitzes. It automatically absorbs the tool when you do that Boolean subtract in SolidWorks. So, but again, I mean, how do we know that? We just know it from practice, right? You just know it because you've done it so many times, and you've given yourself the chance to practice before you actually get into a situation where you're under the gun to get a project out the door. So that's the cool thing.
Yeah, we have a saying for that. We call it the figure it out gene.
Yeah. You just keep going. Keep trying to figure it out. All right, guys, here we go. We're down to our final 2 models here on the wheel. The Wheel of Fate is determining the order of our challenges for today's live stream. And this next challenge is going to be, here we go, shuffle, 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 and spin. This next challenge is going to be, oh, baby, just as Phil predicted, challenge number 13. He's on fire.
He 50% of the time, I'm right 100% of the time.
He knew what it was going to be. He knew what it was going to be. All right, guys. Well, here we go into another challenge here in our CAD vs. CAD Winter Freeze. Of course, thank you so much to the team over at Plasticity. You can visit them, plasticity.xyz, if you want to learn more about Plasticity, a fantastic CAD program for advanced and Class A surfacing, amongst other things. And
So I think this is the first time we're going to see a tier 10 part. Am I wrong?
I think this might be it. Yeah, it might be time.
This is for sure tier 10. There's zero doubt in my mind.
It's got to be. We're this deep into the tournament. We got to be getting close to having our first tier 10 model here in this tournament. So, guys, I hope you are ready. I hope you guys are all enjoying the live stream. If you are, be sure to hit the like button on the live stream. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let people know what we're doing over here. Take a screen capture, message it out to your friends, to your family. Put it in your text chat, even if it's just your aunt and your uncle and your grandpa in the chat. Just message people, let them know what we are doing here. MEHTAB says we should model Lionel Messi. I like that, the GOAT. All right, guys, here we go. This next CAD vs. CAD battle features Dom from the United States, our number 6 seed running SolidWorks, going up against Ricardo Jean, the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. Dom is up by 1 point. If Dom can win this next one, he's going to go on to the finals. If Ricardo wins this next one, then we all win because we all get to see a third battle between these two titans. Here we go. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in x.xxx pounds? And the tolerance on this one is plus or minus 0.005 pounds. There's a note that says, note, do not merge tangent faces. Note, do not merge tangent faces. And why is that? Because in SolidWorks, a lot of times if you merge tangent faces, you get a spline. And we are expecting this to have analytic geometry to land within tolerance. We can see that this part is called Wet Boots Mat. And here we go. Let's see, both of our runners looking at this thing, grabbing a screen capture. We got Dom on the left, running SolidWorks. We got Ricardo Jean on the right, running SolidWorks. Ricardo Jean starting out with a sketch, looking down from the top, sketching this rectangle and adding a curve to the corner. And it looks like Dom actually already finished that sketch. You can see he's got that pierce constraint looking in from the top and now coming in from the side. Look at both of our runners approaching this thing in a very similar way. Very, very interesting. I love these kinds of models. They look pretty simple at first. I mean, technically it is only a tier 4, but I got a feeling we're going to see some hiccups. We're going to see some problems. We're going to see some challenges. One of the big challenges with this model is that the dimensions for the lip that's running around the outside of this wet boots mat is they're given from the side view, and so it looks like both of our runners are deciding to address that using a I'm going to assume using some type of a sweep.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, but I see fully defined design out there is saying mirror, mirror, and I agree. quarter of a part makes a whole, baby, any day of the week.
Well, this is really interesting, seeing how our runners are taking each runner's taking a different approach here with regards to that sketch, and I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to give away too much, but kind of an interesting approach here on the left. I'm wondering what he's going to end up doing with that. He maybe knows something about the software that we don't know. And Dom says, I lost my command manager. Oh, no. So that would be if you right-click on you could probably right-click on the heads-up toolbar and then choose command manager from the heads-up toolbar after you right-click. Yeah, we're up there. Like any one of those, you could probably oh, man, that sucks. Toolbars, command manager. Okay, you got it back. You figured it out. There we go. Jeez, that was
you know what's crazy
that was
is
bad.
This is one of the rare occurrences where we can honestly say you got guys across the world that are still modeling very similar and alike.
Yes, man, that was brutal. Dom clicked a button or something, and then his user interface changed and basically hid all his commands. And I've seen that happen. Oh, and Ricardo Jean comes into the chat with an answer: 2.330 pounds, and that is not correct. That's not correct within tolerance. I had to check and double check there to make sure I was reading it correct. 2.330 pounds. That is not correct. Not within tolerance. 2.330 pounds. Not correct. Not within tolerance. So Ricardo Jean, looking back over his model, trying to see what's going on, trying to see what he missed. Ricardo Jean 2.330. That is not correct. Not within tolerance. We're looking for the answer in x.xxx pounds, and the tolerance on this thing is plus or minus 0.005 pounds. And Ricardo Jean now taking a look at his model, trying to figure out what could have gone wrong with this model. Seems like there shouldn't be anything that went wrong, right? Wow. And again, I was just saying, Dom, the thing that happened with Dom there was his command manager disappeared. And I remember in tech support, we would often get calls from people saying, my command manager disappeared. How do I get it back? And so there must be some kind of a mystery hotkey that you can hit, turns it off. All right. So both of our runners now looking at their drawing information, trying to see if they can't figure out what exactly they are missing or what needs to be done to get this thing to be fully constrained. And we see
Toby, I think I saw it in chat. Somebody's wondering, those white boots yours?
That's for Saturday nights, Phil.
Saturday nights in PA, baby.
Ricardo Jean.
Let's go.
Ricardo Jean looked like he edited his sketch there and moved his one dimension over. It was dimension to the inside instead of the outside. Coming in with the answer, 2.312 grams, and that is correct. And we got ourselves a tie. We got ourselves a showdown here between these two experts. This is what we like to see. And look at Dom right behind him, 2.312 pounds, also correct. Got it within just a few moments of Ricardo Jean, even suffering that darn SolidWorks user interface problem. Man, oh man, what a heartbreaker. I think if Dom hadn't suffered that, he would have definitely been closing in there. That was even with that, he was just within maybe a 20 or 30 second gap there of Ricardo. Holy smokes, holy smokes. And guys, we are going to a fourth match between these two wizards. We are the lucky ones.
I hate to cut you off there, but I'm starting to realize in SolidWorks, things like being able to fillet the sketch on rectangles in the corners, all four simultaneous, is extremely valuable with the way the mindset is for designing and drawing things. Because that's where I think mirror is the way to go in Fusion, because I would have dropped a rectangle off center and only had to fillet one corner for my sweep. Then I would have swept the same profile similar to what they did and then just patterned 4 times.
Yeah, it's so cool to see the different runners and see them coming up with their different solutions, and even just seeing them use certain shortcuts, like Dom doing the window around the geometry to get the fillets in all 4 corners, and Dom is also one who regularly ended up doing the do a window select over a corner of a solid in order to get that corner to be selected for the fillet. Dom was the one who really introduced me to that functionality. I did not realize how powerful that was before. And it's really cool how that works when you are adding fillets. And there's even some little nuanced things that occur. Like you are always in window select. You're never in crossing select when you're adding fillets in the fillet feature command. Like there's a lot of little nuances to the way that it works. But yeah, it's just so cool to watch other people modeling. And not only to see
100%. I could tell you on this part in the world of Fusion is everybody kind of went with that window and then tried to add the island in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And in Fusion, they have a new simplify tool that you could have just said find pocket gone and it would have stitched it and been done.
Yeah, that's probably how I would have done it. That's probably how Aaron C would have done it. Would be like just sketch the lower edge or the upper edge and then sweep that as a surface and then delete the inside face and then thicken the surface and then do like a replace face on the bottom. When I first was looking at it and did it, because of how I had it dimensioned, I drew the lower platform and then the upper ledge and then the outermost perimeter, and then I did a surface loft between them. Like there's all kinds of ways you can solve this, and that's what makes this so cool, is just like thinking about the different solve flows and different solve techniques. But guys, we don't have anything else to really think about now. Now we have one final model left on the wheel. And so GG to both of our runners. Congratulations with all the great work so far. Thank you again to our sponsors. Thank you to Xometry.com. If you guys haven't visited them before, be sure to visit them. You can get up to $200 off your first order using code Toby20CAD when you're ordering physical parts. And of course, thank you to our sponsor, Plasticity, who's been helping us with the Wheel of Fate throughout this tournament. Let's give Plasticity and the Wheel of Fate one more go around here. And, Phil,
I think you're not going to spin it very hard, and my guess is I'm going to be right.
I'm thinking we're probably going to have number 14. Big B from AZ is thinking 14. Yep. Jim Yu thinks 14. I think probably 14. Let's see. We'll shuffle this up a little bit. Shuffle, 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 and spin. And here we go.
Unless you're dyslexic, I guess it could be 41.
Let's see what happens.
Burrs beat me out to it. Berserk out there with the 41. Love to see it.
Nice. All right, guys. And so congratulations to Ricardo earning that point. And we are going to be now going to drawing number 14. And guys, I just want to warn you, Ricardo and Dom, there's a note on this drawing that says no Ivan exploits. No Ivan exploits, okay? This is one that can be Ivan exploited fairly easy, and that is not what the audience wants to see. And so we're going to make sure we give the audience what they want. So there's a note on the drawing that says no Ivan exploits. So we want to make sure that you guys put all the features in the correct spot. We're not going to Ivan exploit this one, and that should make it a lot more fun for the audience and for Phil and I. And occasionally that happens, Phil. We do throw a note on there if it's a model that's like, you know, it obviously could be exploited. It's kind of like sometimes we want to see how you locate stuff. You know, that's part of the learning experience for all of us in the audience. So be on the lookout for that note. Technically, it's like there's a couple of specific features it says no Ivan exploits for, and those are going to be the ones we're going to be watching. So, guys, good luck. It's been a lot of fun watching our runners. If you guys have been enjoying this, put a 1 in the chat. Be sure to hit the like button. We're going to head into what is most likely going to be our final battle for today. This is going to determine who is going to go to the finals next week. And also, we're going to have our other runner come back next week and participate in the 3rd and 4th place battle. So, Phil, the production team just notified me that they are ready with the drawings. Are you ready for this final battle?
Yeah, give me a sec. Now I am.
Whoa,
there we go.
Bro, 50. Phil, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Guys, get in there and grab those. Wow, thank you so much. That is
this is why you got to link the two, man. You got to link the memberships so that these guys can go get some Too Tall Toby type stuff.
Can get in there and try it out. Well, thank you so much, Phil. It's really, really kind of you. And I know I say it every month, but we're gonna try and get some custom content out there for the membership, people who are in the membership. But I really, really appreciate it. For now, what you guys are going to get is you're going to get the special icons you can all use. So make sure you drop the cat icon in there. We'll get the brand new Phil icon in there as well, the JitCat Cam icon in there as well. But wow.
Chat is just going hard.
Yo, people are scooping these things up. Let's go. That is awesome, man. Well, thank you. So kind. And that is awesome. And guys, here we go. What a great way to lead into our final battle here. We got Phil. Thank you so much, Phil. Phil Brown, Fusion Phil, dropping 50 gift subs into the chat. Thank you so much. And here we go, guys. Dom has 1 point. Ricardo Jean has 1 point. Whoever wins this point is going to move on to the finals next week. Dom from the United States running SolidWorks going up against Ricardo Jean, our current world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, from Brazil, running SolidWorks. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3. Begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in x.xx kilograms? Tolerance is plus or minus 1 kilogram. Note, no Ivan exploits. Holes in feet must be located properly. Let's make sure that we get all these features located properly. And we can see here that this is a wood-burning stove. A wood-burning stove to help keep us warm during this winter freeze. Good luck to both of our runners. Fairly straightforward geometry, nothing too tricky here. Let's see who's got the best practices in their toolkit. We got Ricardo Jean on the right running SolidWorks drawing First Blood. We got Dom on the left running SolidWorks close behind him. Both of them using that window select for the fillet command on the sketch. Both of them adding an extrusion in the same direction, and both of them, oh, interesting, a little deviation here. Looks like Dom is going to go a slightly different route than Ricardo went on that second feature. Ricardo getting in there and creating that bridge, and Dom deciding to combine it all together here in this one sketch. I like it. Guys being careful to make sure they get those dimensions to the correct locations. Dom, an expert in using what we call contour selection when he's working in SolidWorks, when he's selecting geometry from a sketch. He's very good at creating multiple contours and selecting them, and boom, he's got that shelf and that thing hollowed out. Now we see a little bit of deviation. We see Ricardo has moved down to the bottom of this model and is going to be sketching the feet that are sticking off the bottom of this wood burning stove, while Dom is creating the geometry coming in from the side. Now this geometry coming in from the side, as well as the feet, could be Ivan exploited, but that's not what we're looking for. We want these guys to do this right. No Ivan exploits here for these locations. We want to see what they use to actually draw this stuff in the right spot. You know, in the past, we would probably see people just drop those holes wherever. That's not what the audience wants to see. It's not what I want to see. It's not what Phil wants to see. We want to see these guys putting everything in the correct location. So
I do like the dirty move that Dom just pulled off with the construction line first, the last circle, and then he just drag and dropped everything to auto constrain on.
Love it. Fully
now,
defined.
in my experience of Fusion, though, we have what's called a horizontal vertical constraint that you could have skipped.
1 second, Phil. Look.
And then just horizontal them.
Ricardo just did a circular sketch pattern. That one was for MEHTAB. I'm sure that was for MEHTAB. Oh, and he extruded. He extruded it.
That was it. It's over. That was the spot.
Man, we'll see what happens here. And then we see Dom has created a bolt circle, has decided to create a bolt circle there. And Dom also using a circular pattern. These guys are both giving a shout out to MEHTAB here. Both of them using a sketch pattern to get this thing into place.
Yeah, for some of you that don't know, there's a time to pattern a sketch and there's a time not to. And I always think in the world of mouse clicks, because when you come back and have to extrude certain things, in this case, it's only 5-ish clicks to get the 4 plus the center. So it might not be worth the hassle versus utilizing, you know, a feature pattern.
Well, we're going to keep an eye on the chat now. And Ricardo Jean comes in with an answer. And we're looking for the answer in kilograms, Ricardo Jean. We are looking for the answer in kilograms. So let's get that answer in there in kilograms. I know we could convert it, but if you could just type it in kilograms.
But that counts.
I want to make
Does that not count?
I'm going to give him a chance to type it in kilograms. Let's see here. So we're looking at this thing here. And so Ricardo Jean comes in with his answer. 63.9 kilograms, and that is correct. And so, congratulations to Ricardo Jean. Congratulations to Ricardo Jean. Well done in just 3 minutes and about 30 seconds. Holy smokes. Congratulations, Ricardo Jean, earning the victory, Cat, and moving on to his finals next week. Wow. What a battle between those two Titans. And Dom coming in with his answer as well. 63.9. I think he moved the decimal place by 1 point. Also coming up with the correct answer and the correct geometry. Holy smokes, what a battle between these guys going all the way to the end. 4 battles. We love to see it. So fun to watch. And wow, guys. Well done to both of our runners. What a fun way to end the day. And what a fun model there for our runners. Congratulations to our runners. We see that Ricardo Jean putting up the flex there a little bit and saying, "You shall not pass." And also, thank you very much. Well done. Guys, that was awesome. Thank you so much to all of our runners today. Really good seeing everybody. Thank you so much to all of our amazing sponsors as well. Good game to the winner. Congratulations to our runners who moved through into the finals for next week. Congratulations to Otse. And congratulations to Ricardo Jean. We're going to see another Ate Ricardo Jean showdown in the finals. This is like watching Sampras and Agassi in the old days of tennis, or maybe a little more contemporarily, you could say maybe it's more like watching Federer and Djokovic. Or I don't know if those two even played each other. I might be a little bit mixing up my timelines there. But guys, this is awesome. It's really cool to see two people coming up to the top once again. We got Ate versus Ricardo in another final. I think this might be the 3rd tournament that they've been in the finals together. So it's really cool to see these guys. And we're going to see Dom and MEHTAB next week playing for 3rd and 4th as well to see who gets that 3rd place prize that's up for grabs. So be sure to come back and join us next week. Thank you again so much to all our tournament sponsors, to Xometry.com, MySolidbox.com, 3dconnection.com, and plasticity.xyz. Please be sure to visit them, give them some love, shout them out on social media, and let them know that Too Tall Toby sent you. And Phil, thank you so much. Any final thoughts or words for the chat?
Yeah, we like to say over here, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And you guys all know Fusion Phil over here at CAD Cam. So if you're looking for anything in the world of Fusion, feel free, come check us out, hit me up. I'm always happy to help.
Well, and don't forget, guys, next month in Florida, if you happen to be in the Florida area, you can join Phil for some training. He's doing the JitCAD Cam Road Show, and you're going to get the chance to learn from the best. So be sure to check it out. We've got the link here in the live stream, and we'll also drop the link in the chat for all of you. And guys, congratulations, and thank you to all the chat as well. We couldn't do any of the stuff that we do without the amazing chat, without the amazing Too Tall Toby community. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this live stream. And don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share and reshare. Sign up for a free account over at tootalltoby.com. Visit our sponsors. And we're going to be going live on Monday. If you want to compete against the chat, if you feel like you're pretty fast and you were doing good with these models today, join us on Monday. We're going to do Model Monday Live, and you can compete against the other chat pros. And, of course, come back next Friday for the finals. We're going to have the finals next week on Friday. We're going to have a single match between our 3rd and 4th place winners to see who ends up getting 3rd and earning that prize for 3rd. And then we are going to have our finals. Finals are going to be a best of 3 this time. Best of 3 this time, just like we did today. So finals are going to be next week, Friday, January 30th. Congratulations to our runners getting into it. And guys, Ricardo Jean has won 2 tournaments. This could become his 3rd tournament win. Ate has yet to secure a tournament victory. This could be his first tournament victory. So the stakes are high. And next week, we're going to find out who is the 2026 Winter Freeze tournament winner. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. A great way to end the week. Enjoy your Friday. Stay warm. Watch that weather that's coming in. Try to stay safe. Stock up this weekend. Stock up with some stuff so that you are prepared for next week. Make sure you've got food. Make sure you've got propane. Make sure that you've got some gasoline for your vehicles. Maybe have like a good chainsaw ready to go. There's probably going to be a lot of leaves and branches, or leaves, probably going to be a lot of branches and trees that fall down. So make sure you've got a chainsaw ready to go for next week. And then you should be fine. We'll just weather the storm together. I'll be live streaming next week, so I'll see you guys on Monday. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you again, Phil, so much. It's been awesome seeing you. All right.
Have a good one.
We'll see you guys.